Hello guys, today I'm going to be playing World of Warcraft. You're most likely watching this video because you want to be able to travel from Stormwind to Kalimdor, or from the Eastern to the what's it called? I wanted to go to Darkshore to get that cool Chimera mount. So you go to your mage tower. Then, once you're there, what you want to do is go inside and then come straight up the stairs. And then the portal you're gonna take is the portal to the Exodar. That's the #1 way to be able to get to from here all the way to Kalimdor. I'm gonna take the portal, and then there should be a flight path just outside of here. It's right here in the Exodar. So go ahead and travel there, and then once you're at the flight path, you are free to do anything you want from there. I hope this video has helped you guys, and those who've been wanting to go to Kalimdor but have no idea how to go, because all the videos that are currently up are like 2015 kind of stuff. So I hope this video has helped. If you want to, like and subscribe, and
may I be of service.
See you in the
Remember
next video.
the lessons of the
Open your
past.
heart to the light.
World of Warcraft has hundreds of mounts for you to obtain and collect, with more being added on each patch. And as always, there's going to be people's more favourite thing, least favourite thing. So in this video, I wanted to run through the 10 more popular mounts within World of Warcraft. Now this list has been put together through a few different sources of data, for example forum discussions, polls, talking about people's favourite mounts or the mounts they wish they had. We also did our own mount showdown as well, which would pit 2 mounts together to decide winners, and we used that data as well to formulate this list. So with that being said, let's move on to the top 10. At number 10 is the Reigns of the Swift Spectral Tiger. And god, when you used to see people riding around on this mount back in like BC and Wrath, you'd see someone on a Swift Spectral Tiger, you'd be like, damn. That's about all you could say. You'd really want that mount. It was a mount you were extremely envious of, and back then in World of Warcraft there wasn't a ton of mounts to obtain either, so those special mounts really stood out as something truly special. And while the mount does still hold up visually to some degree, it has fallen off quite hard in popularity. One of the main reasons for that is the way the mount is obtained. It was added to the game back in the 22nd of August 2007 to the World of Warcraft trading card game, one of the expansions of Fires of Outland. It was a rare card you could pull from opening packs. You'd get a code, you'd type that into WoW, and you would get yourself the Spectral Tiger, the unarmored version, and the Swift Spectral Tiger as well. But that's since been discontinued, so your only methods of getting this mount now are to buy unopened packs and hope you get very, very lucky, or to buy it from someone who's unused their code, which will cost you about $5,000, and you've got to hope you don't get scammed as well. Or you can buy one that's not been used within the game. That'll cost you more than a gold cap, so once again you kind of have to hope you don't get scammed once more. So getting one of these is extremely difficult, and you're going to be forking out a lot of cash or gold to get your hands on one, and that's left people kind of disgruntled. At number 9 we have another mount added in the Burning Crusade, and that is going to be the Reigns of the Raven Lord. I was actually kind of surprised to see how popular this mount still is with people, considering this model has been used for some other popular mounts, for example Void Talent. But people do seem to like the original version, and to be fair, it does still hold up quite well visually as well. So this mount is still available in the game today. It's a low drop chance from the boss called Anzu within Heroic Sephic Hall. That's what made it a little bit more difficult then as well, because you had to convince the druid to let you in their group for getting that chance at Anzu, although later down the line it was changed to no longer require a druid, and anyone could go in there and have a shot at getting themselves Anzu. But overall, Reigns of the Raven Lord is still a very popular mount, and one that people are still trying to get themselves today. At number 8 we have the Lucid Nightmare, which was added in the Legion patch 7.3 Shadows of Argus. And this was one of those secret mounts, but I think this is a really solid secret mount. I mean, first of all, the mount itself looks great. You know, it's a kind of darker coloured horned horse, and those horned horse mounts were able to fly recently, making it even better. Now, we are getting quite a few of these horned horse style mounts in the game, which does devalue it a little bit, but I think part of the mount's popularity is the way it's obtained. Even though it's pretty damn near impossible for someone to figure this out on their own, as a community, people came together to figure out all the various puzzles, for example the pattern puzzle in Ulduar, the Bejeweled puzzle, the lever combination, the untangling minigame, and then the Endless Halls maze, where you were pretty much on your own. No one could really help you. Sure, there was some add-ons and tips to kind of get you through the maze a little bit easier, but you were still mostly on your own. So when you finally got through that, you at least felt some kind of accomplishment from going through this long journey that took you across all different places within Azeroth to finally get yourself that mount. So I think everything involved in this mount and its visuals as well is part of what makes it so popular. At number 7 we have one of my more personal favourite mounts as well, and that is the Infinite Time Reaver. I mean, first of all, it's a really good looking dragon mount. It's a lot more unique than some of the other dragon mounts that are available in the game as well, and it's pretty rare. So those things alone make it a pretty nice mount to have, but it's also tied into the Infinite Dragonflight, and stuff around that I'm generally more interested in as well. I just like the concept of these people, this like corrupt dragonflight that's trying to alter the flow of time in the way that they think things should be. So stuff related to that, I'm always a little bit more down for as well. In terms of this mount itself, it was introduced in Warlords of Draenor when they added more content to Time Walking. They introduced Cataclysm Time Walking, and with it they introduced the ability for the Infinite Time Reaver to drop. Any boss within Time Walking, it doesn't matter what expansion you're doing, and it doesn't have to be the last boss either, any boss you complete within a Time Walking dungeon has roughly between a 1 in 2,000 and a 1 in 4,000 chance of dropping the mount. The exact number's still a little bit up in the air, but either way it is an extremely low drop chance mount. The nice thing about this though is while there is a Time Walking event active, which are quite often, you can pretty much infinitely farm yourself this mount by just queuing yourself up for dungeons over and over again, killing bosses and getting yourself a chance at the mount. Moving on to number 6 now, and we have the Reigns of the Swift Zillion Tiger. And this is a mount that still pops and stands out from all the other saber mounts in the game. It doesn't just feel like another saber mount, even though there's a ton of them. It's still a mount where when you see someone riding a Swift Zillion Tiger, you kind of like stop, have a little look at them, maybe you click on them, inspect them. It just still has a bit of authority behind it. And this was a mount that was one of the first available to Horde for them to get their hands on a saber mount, so that gave it a lot more kind of attention and want as well, especially if you were a Horde character riding this. This was a low drop chance from the raid Zul'Gurub from High Priest Lakal, around a 1% drop chance, but it was removed from being a drop in the Cataclysm pre-patch, although later it was added to the Black Market Auction House as a potential listing, or available in the containers from the Black Market as well. So you are still able to pick this mount up for today, although expect to be paying quite a lot of gold if you do manage to get one on your server. You might get lucky, but who knows. At number 5 we have Midnight, and this isn't to be confused with the fiery warhorse available from the raid version of Karazhan. No, this is Midnight, the updated one, added in Legion in the Return to Karazhan dungeon. And this one I'm kind of surprised made it so far up the list, but a lot of people really like this mount, and you can't say that it's not a good looking mount, right? Like the color scheme of it, armored undead horses, just pretty cool in general, so it is definitely a nice mount. And I think part of this mount's popularity plays into the fact that Karazhan is quite a raid that a lot of people have fond memories of, so Return to Karazhan coming back and kind of reigniting some of those memories, and giving them an updated chance at that fiery warhorse mount. I just think those things combined made Midnight into a really popular mount that a lot of people are trying for, and it's somewhat rare as well because it's on about a 1% drop chance from the Return to Karazhan Mythic Dungeon, which means it does have a weekly lockout, giving you one chance at that mount per character per week. Coming in at number 4, we have the Time Lost Proto Drake, which, starting out, the Time Lost Proto Drake looks great. I think Proto Drakes in general were a good addition for mount collectors, but this one was unique in the way that we'd never seen a mount obtained like this in the game. It was a rare spawn of a rare spawn, so you were waiting hours and hours for this to spawn, but in its place, a much higher chance, was another rare called Viragosa, which would not give a mount. So you'd be flying around Storm Peaks, your Silver Dragon would go off, and you'd be like, is that it? No, it's Viragosa again, damn, and you'd go and do something else for a few hours. But when you finally found the Time Lost Proto Drake, it was an experience in itself. Your hands would be sweating, your heart would be racing like crazy. You'd be like, is someone gonna tag it before me? You'd try and tag it without killing yourself because it's flying high in the sky. You'd finally get it down to the ground, you'd kill it, you'd loot yourself the mount, and you'd be like, finally, it's over. You'd be so overjoyed. And it was just an experience in itself, one that is very rare for mounts nowadays because it's kind of like, oh yay, another mount. Back then though, it was a whole experience in itself in getting the Time Lost Proto Drake, and I think for that reason is why it ends up so high in terms of popularity. At number 3, we have another Burning Crusade mount, which is going to be the Ashes of Allah, and this still holds up extremely well visually today. It's a good looking mount to fly around on, and the ribbons that come from the back of it are still mesmerizing as hell, but it's just a very cool mount. What made this mount interesting as well was it was the first drop chance flying mount you could obtain in the game, and it had the increased flight speed of 310%. It's not like today where the flight speed scales depending on your personal skill. No, you had to have a mount that was actually able to go faster, and Ashes of Allah was one of those few mounts that could do that. You tie all of that together with where this mount actually comes from, which is the Tempest Keep the Eye, the last boss Kel'Thas Sunstrider, which is obviously a boss with a lot of lore ties to the game, current, old, and like Warcraft as well. Even though people were a little bit confused back then and thought it actually came from the first boss Allah because the mount looked the same as the boss. It wasn't actually the case. But either way though, Ashes of Allah is still a great looking mount that people that already own it can happily use because it still holds up extremely well and is still sought after by those who don't own it. So, very popular mount in the game. At number 2, we have the Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent, which, to be fair, not much needs to be said about this. I mean, the Heavenly Cloud Serpents in general are absolutely fantastic looking mount, and the Heavenly Onyx standing out a bit because of the darker, cooler looking colours, and the rare drop chance that comes along with it as well. It's on about a 1 in 3,000 drop chance from the world boss Sharavanga, but because it's a world boss, you're only going to get 1 attempt per character per week, a second attempt if you are armed with bonus rolls on your characters as well. Either way, very low attempts per week, and you can also pick it up on the Black Market Auction House, but typically it goes for gold cap, so 9.9 million gold, so you're going to struggle to get your hands on this, and if you do get yourself it while you're killing the Sharavanga, you mount up on it, you're probably going to get some envious hate whispers from people who have thousands of attempts at trying to get themselves this, and the Lich King, which is a character with deep lore ties to the game, so deep that even after he's been killed, he's even making somewhat of a return in the current expansion. The music and the cinematic when you finally beat the Lich King, the memes attached to this mount, how the mount looks itself, the low drop chance, just everything combined makes Invincible such a sought after and popular mount within World of Warcraft, and one that people are going to always continue to go after regardless. So for those reasons, Invincible has to take the top spot, and there's a bit more to it as well, because for some people when Arthas and the Lich King died, you feel like an end of an era happened for World of Warcraft. So that does bring us to the end of the list. If you disagree with any of the picks, let me know what your list would be in the comments down below. And I've been on YouTube for about 10 years, maybe more now, so I feel like it's time we finally made the push for 100k subs. So if you won't mind subscribing for more World of Warcraft mount related content, then make sure you do hit that sub button. Outside of that, look out for more videos coming soon. Thanks for watching guys, see ya.
The 10 most annoying mounts to farm? Really?
Warning, this video is very annoying. That is, if you want to farm some of the mounts
I'll look at that
talk
afterwards.
about. As in this video, we'll go over 10 of the most annoying mounts to possibly farm. Wow. And at number 10, we have the ultimate Karaji.
Yeah, I got this super early.
This is a mount obtained from archaeology, so all you
easy
have
to mount.
do
So
is
easy to
just
get.
farm a whole bunch of archaeology for 12 years archaeology fragments, and you'll get this mount eventually. But here's a little catch. You don't get to specifically farm 12-year fragments.
No,
Those
you
dig
don't.
sites just pop up randomly on the map sometimes when you're doing archaeology in Kalimdor.
So I'll give you guys a tip for this mount. If you want to farm out this mount, here's the tip. It's actually better for you to farm archaeology in either the Broken Isles or in in the broken, not broken, in like the new zones, fucking Kultiris and Zandalar. It's better to farm artifacts in Kultiris and Zandalar and then buy Tol'vir boxes and open the Tol'vir boxes for fragments than to actually farm directly for the Tol'vir fragments. It's so stupid.
So most of the time there won't even be dig sites in Hold'em, which
Yep.
is the only zone that will drop the Tol'vir artifacts.
Yep.
So what you can do is just complete all of the dig sites so that they'll eventually reroll to a new zone, and then eventually they'll show up in Hold'em.
It's really
And
fun
then
to do
once
that.
you do
Can
get
I
your
show you my
artifacts,
wares?
you just randomly complete whatever is your current research project,
Good.
which is assigned to you randomly each time you complete a research project.
It's very fun.
Eventually, you'll roll on the one that allows you to create the ultimate Karaji battle tank, which can take quite a while.
Yeah, it did.
There are ways
It
to
was
speed
ridiculous.
this up, however.
It's fucking
If you don't want to
insane.
randomly farm for Tol'vir fragments, which I wouldn't recommend because it takes forever,
Yep.
you can just simply do archaeology in Mista Pandaria or above zones.
This guy is really smart. Let me tell you guys. This is a really smart guy. There's kinds of people that think like this, really think outside of the box, and they have like this level of intelligence that few people are able to comprehend. So I'm really glad that this guy is here making videos like this, because it's really important that he's sharing his extensive knowledge and understanding of the game. Such a
In
smart
order to
guy.
get things called restored artifacts.
Yep.
But you can turn into a vendor, which will allow you to buy a
Yep.
box full of a couple of Tol'vir fragments.
Yep.
So that you can complete your Tol'vir research projects without having to go out and randomly find dig sites in Uldum. Now, how you get restored artifacts is by completing research projects in new zones, so Miss, Warlords of Draenor, Legion, and BFA, in which case sometimes you'll randomly get an item that you can convert into a restored artifact. So overall, it's actually faster to just farm out restored artifacts
Yeah.
than it is trying to farm Tol'vir fragments directly.
Exactly.
But both of these are very time
Exactly.
consuming. It makes it so you have to do a lot of archaeology.
This is...
And there are some reports from people
I feel like this one should be higher. Like, if this is number 10, like, I don't know what the fuck number 9 to 1 is gonna be, man. Like, this mount was a big fucking cock.
who actually managed to obtain this mount, that it takes about 125 completions before the
Jesus,
mount
dude.
project shows up. Although it
It's
could show up
awful.
in one of your first 10 completions too.
Yeah.
It's random, so it could take you forever, or it could be a very simple and fast
Yeah,
process.
he's a mad boy.
But it is one of the most annoying mounts to farm.
Shorty, thanks
because
for
it
5
requires
subs,
you
man.
to do
Appreciate
a
it.
lot of archaeology, which is why only 8% of the player base actually owns this mount. As a comparison, 10% of players own the Brine Deep Bottom Feeder mount.
Wait, you're saying 8% of the player base has this? I don't believe that, man. Like, that's such a massive amount. 10% of the player base? No fucking way.
Which requires you to do a crap
No
ton of fishing
fucking
in
way.
one specific pool in the Broken Isles Dalaran. People are more willing to fish than they are to do archaeology.
People are
which
willing
should
to do
tell you
anything
something
instead
about
of
how
archaeology.
annoying archaeology is, especially since people have been able to obtain the ultimate Karaji battle tank for a lot longer than they could the bottom tier mount. And at number 9, we have the Ashhide Mushan Beast. This mount is obtained in the Timeless Isle from a vendor for 500
Is this
coins.
goodbye or
And it's
hello?
obtaining these coins that makes this mount so hard to farm out.
That's actually true, man. I got this shit back in Mista Pandaria. It was a joke, because you would just go and kill people that were under geared. But now you have to do it in BGs.
As there's 2 ways to gain bloody coins.
Yep.
One of them is to use the item Sensor of the Eternal Agony,
Those were the good
which
days.
lowers your health by 90% when you use it,
Yep.
and then it allows you to kill Horde and Alliance players in
Oh
no
my
matter your
god,
faction.
man.
just
I
as long
used
as
to
on the
love
Timeless
doing
Isle,
this.
and each kill of an enemy player will award you a medal.
This was so fun,
ideally,
man.
you just use this item and then kill 500 players of the Timeless Isle and you have
Yep.
your mount, which was probably possible back in the area.
You can still do it, but what you need to do is you need to get phased over to a very, very high population or like multi-connected server and just kill people that are AFK waiting for Hulan to spawn, because that's where all of the players are at. Is they're just waiting for Hulan. So if you guys want to farm them, that's the tip.
When Timeless Isle was current content, but it's much more difficult in every expansion afterwards, where there's rarely people on the Timeless Isle. Well, outside of Mista Pandaria Time Walking Week, since the Time Walking vendor is located on the Timeless Isle.
Makes it a lot
Although
easier.
even then, you have to be in war mode in order to kill enemy players, even if you have the availability of killing both factions. And the other way to obtain bloody coins, which is the much easier way, is with the item the Fire Watcher's Oath. This item will allow you to obtain bloody coins in PvP activities outside of the Timeless Isle.
It's not 100% though.
Although it used to be at a much lower drop rate of only having a 10% chance per kill to get one coin, as you do have to get the killing blow in order to obtain a bloody coin. So having to farm
It's really
battlegrounds
fucking
and get
annoying.
killing blows, where only 1 in 10 would actually give you a bloody coin, took a very long time.
Yes, it
or
did.
at least around 5,000 killing blows. You'll probably
Jesus.
passively obtain it as long as you just remember to keep the item up
Oh
over
my
the course
God.
of a couple of months.
Yeah, you've got to
Or at
PvP
least
a lot
was
for
the
that
case
shit.
with Legion, when Blizzard hotfixed the item to give it a 100% chance to give you
Really?
coins on kills. But you still need to land the killing blow.
That's
And
easy. You just get Reaping Flames. What the fuck?
the item itself has a 10-minute cooldown.
That's
so
a
if you die
joke.
early before it comes up, you won't actually have it 100% of the time while you're in battle. I have heard reports of people just getting 2 groups together of opposite factions on the Timeless Isle and just taking turns killing each other in order to get bloody coins faster.
Cheating Andes.
I don't know
Hey
if this
there,
actually works or not,
King's
but it
Honor,
sounds like
friend.
something that would
Well
probably
met.
work.
Yeah.
Either way, only about
that's a good idea.
7% of players actually own this mount. And
Yeah, it's pretty
slightly
fucking
more
annoying to
annoying
get
to
now, I
obtain
guess.
than doing archaeology. I actually had to learn how to do archaeology in order to like that segment on the number 10 spot, because
Honestly, dude, like I think the Mushan is so much easier to get than the archaeology one. The Mushan, like you just PvP. Like you just PvP. That's it. Like you go into a BG, you PvP, you get it, it's done. That's all there is to it. Like that's it. Am I a cheating Andy if I farm botters at Halls of Lightning? No, I'm joking. Like if you want to do that kind of stuff, like if players, I don't really care about people that are like coordinating with each other to like fake achievements. Like the only thing I really care about are like prestige-based things like arena, like win trading for arena. But like people that win trade for like pet battle wins or something stupid like that, who cares?
I wasn't sure how the restored artifact system even worked, despite the fact that I've been playing the game for over 10 years.
Yeah,
I
of
will
course.
also mention there is a little bit of a more sketchy way to obtain bloody coins faster, which
Killing
involves
bots?
repeatedly killing a friend's trial character over and over while they respawn instantly at a spirit healer. But I'm not sure if that's something Blizzard really wants you to do, and I'd rather not advise you to do
it
things
is
that
now.
would get your account banned. I'm
There
also
it
not
is.
sure if that method even still works. So, on to the next spot on this list.
It doesn't work because you still get the debuff, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, it's weird whenever you die. So, you can only do it every every like fucking 10 minutes. It works? I thought the debuff, doesn't the debuff go away?
It's too far away.
Wrong, it still does work?
Hey
If you
there.
stand at max distance, it's not applied? You will have to be at max range? Okay, alright.
And at number 8, we have the Phosphorescent Stone.
Yeah,
This is
right!
a mount that drops from a rare mob in Deepholm named Aeonax,
Yeah,
which has a
right.
100% drop rate and will drop for everyone in your party.
Are you
So
kidding
what some
me?
people will do is post on their Discord server that they found this rare mob in order to invite 4 other people so that
What?
everyone can obtain the Stone Drake. And even with this gracious way of obtaining the mount, only about 4% of players have it. Because you see, finding this rare mob is the hard part.
It's not, though. This is not hard at all. Like, are you kidding me? It's super easy. You guys want to know how to get it? Do you guys want to know how to get it? Here's how you get it. You make a character on a low pop server, and you just go over there, and you wait on the low pop server, and you just get it there. It's super fucking easy. Like, I don't even know what to say.
The mob has a 2 to 8
Whatever.
hour respawn timer in Deep Hole. Spawns in
Whatever.
multiple locations and shares a respawn timer with a random rare bat. Now, a respawn timer of about 5 hours on average means you
Yep.
have to spend a day camping this thing out if you want a chance to obtain it.
That's it? That's it? It's a day? It's not, I don't think this one's annoying to farm at all. Like, no, I don't think it's annoying to farm. Like, a day, oh wow! I have to spend a whole day playing, oh my god. Oh, I've got to take a piss, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry, just give me a second. This is so dumb.
Which is an incredibly long time to fly around the zone looking for one rare mob. But if that's all it took, then they would have a much higher collection rate, since WoW players on a whole are perfectly fine with camping something out for long periods of time in order to get something cool.
That's not a big deal.
What makes this mount difficult to obtain is the fact that it shares that respawn timer with a bat. Because if the bat respawns, then you have to wait another 2 hours
Yeah.
after killing it before the stone drake has a chance to spawn again, as it has that minimum 2 hour respawn timer. So what some people will do in farming this mount is just take 2 hours break after they kill the bat, because there's no way the drake can spawn any earlier than
That's
that.
a good idea.
It's really this shared respawn timer with
that's
another
smart.
mob, and the fact that it has a long spawn timer
That's very
makes
smart.
it so you could camp out this mount all day and never actually find it. Or
That's how Time Lost Proto Drake is too, actually.
someone else will randomly come across it and take
With
it without you
Viragosa.
knowing, and then you won't know how long you have to wait for another respawn timer. This
Yep.
mount is awarded to people who have lots of free time on their hands, or can afford to fly around the game for 8 hours at a time looking for one dragon to kill for a mount, which is why it's an annoying mount to farm. And at number 7, we have the Void Talon of the Dark
I'm
Star.
out of range.
This mount is
I got lucky with this one. Somebody in my on my stream, or I don't think it was my stream. Like it was somebody like that found out about me. It was on like YouTube or something. Like
I need
that.
to get
They
closer.
invited me to a group, and I got this really fucking easy from that. Yeah, I got lucky for that.
obtained simply by clicking on an Edge of Reality portal,
Yeah, I
which
never
will
got
port
mine
you
on
into
my
your
own.
own little instance that will click on, which gives you a mount 100% of the time.
Yep.
And this one is hard to obtain in the same way that the phosphorescent stone drake is. As long as you can find the portal, you'll get the mount.
Yeah.
But finding the portal is the
They're
hardest.
supposed to spawn like
You see,
after
these
the,
portals spawn
after
once
the
every
timer.
13 to 48 hours, which is a much longer spawn timer than the 2
Or
to
after
8
the
hours
reset, I
from
mean.
the previous spot on this list. And the portals can spawn at almost random locations across Draenor from the
Mm-hmm.
Warlords of Draenor world map. And I say almost random locations because there technically is set locations for all the portals. It's just, there's a lot of them, and they're spread all throughout Draenor. And when a portal spawns, it only lasts for
I fucking did this for like 6 months before I got it.
5 minutes.
This one
And if
was
no
really
one clicks
annoying.
the portal in 5 minutes, it will
was
despawn
so
and then
bad.
respawn somewhere else at random in about another hour. And it will
It's
keep
such
doing
a
this
cock,
until
man.
someone clicks on it, in which case it will enter its 13 to 48 hour cooldown. The thing is though, there's no real way to track if someone else has already clicked on one of these portals.
Right.
So someone could have clicked on the portal yesterday, and you could be looking all around Draenor for it to not be able to spawn.
That's why you do it after the
Instead,
server reset.
as people can just randomly find these portals while questing through the zones. And since finding one of these portals is so difficult, the Void Talon has only been collected by 3.4% of the player base, which is an
Jeez.
incredibly low number and only slightly lower than the previous spot on this list.
God damn.
And at number 6, we have the Reigns of the Grey Riding Camel. In order to get this mount, all you have to do is kill an NPC called Dormus, the
Oh, they
Camel
fixed
Hoarder,
it? Oh,
who has
shit,
a
okay.
100% chance to drop it. And just like the previous 2 spots, finding this
Mm-hmm.
NPC is the difficult part. You see, the only way to find this NPC is to be teleported to his location by finding a camel figurine.
So there used to be an exploit with this one, where what you could do is you would kill the guy, the NPC, and it would only be visible to you. So you would kill the NPC, the Dormus, the Camel Hoarder, and you would then drop group and get phased over to another server, and then kill the NPC on that server, and then drop group again, get phased over, and then kill the NPC on another server, and then trade all of the mounts to your friends.
And the camel figurine is at one of 50 spawn
Yep.
locations around Uldum.
That
And
was
the
good,
figurine will
man.
spawn in one of those 50 locations once every 4
real
hours or
good.
so. So it has a 2 to 8 hour respawn timer. And once you find the camel figurine, there is only a 5% chance that it will actually be the correct one. The other 95% of the time, the figurine will just turn into a trash item, and then you start the 2 to 8
I'm out
hour
of
respawn
range.
timer again. And just like with the Edge of Reality portals, you won't actually know someone else has clicked on the camel figurine in the past 2 to 8 hours. So you could spend all day looking for one, only for someone else to click on it randomly later on.
Yep.
And this is the nerfed version of this. It used to have a 4 to 12 hour respawn time. So here's some tips to farm in this mount, thanks to some of the people in the WoW comments.
Work with other people.
You can only obtain the camel
Yeah.
figurines in the Cataclysm version of the zone.
This is
so
so
make sure you swap
stupid,
that
man.
over if you have the BFA version.
Cypher
of
with the
one
10 subs.
character.
Thank you very much, man.
Then just fly
Thank you,
around
thank you,
to
thank
all
you.
of its 50 spawn locations, and then swap
Thank you
over
very
to
much,
war
sir.
mode, as that counts as a separate server,
Mm-hmm.
and then check again. And then you can use trial characters on different servers to do the same method.
Yeah, that's
until
what you need to
basically
do,
get bored
is you
of
use
looking.
trial characters.
Because
That's
even
the big
doing
secret.
this, and potentially looking on 50 different servers per day, there is no guarantee that you'll actually get it after checking 100
Mm-hmm.
times, because of that darn little 95% chance that it will turn into trash. Which is why this little mount only has a 3.4% collection rate, which
Yeah.
is the same as the Void Talon, despite the fact that the Void Talon mount came out
I
2
always
seasons
have
later.
time for you.
And at number
This one's so fucking annoying to get.
5, we have the Chewed-On Reins of the Terrified Pack Mule.
Wait, what?
This mount is randomly obtained from
What?
world mobs that have Hex Thralled in their name, from the
What?
zone of Drustfar in BFA. Now, BFA added a couple of other world drop mounts, and they all have much higher collection rates than the Terrified Pack Mule.
Glad
You
you
just
made
buy
it.
it.
Basically, the
Wait, don't you just buy this one? I thought you just buy it. Like,
Watch your tone
exact
with
same
me.
way as all
What?
others, just
You may
killing
be
a whole
the
bunch of
king,
specific
but I'm
mobs
still
in
your
the zone.
superior as
Now,
a
according
paladin.
to the people who've undergone the mob
As
grind
if I
in
could
order to obtain
forget.
this mount,
Listen,
the reason this one is
there's
so
something
much
about
harder
the
to
play.
obtain than
Yeah.
all the other BFA world mounts is because the mobs you have to farm are more spread out. So
no.
their no super
it's kind of
spawn
too
like
late.
all the others have.
These
and the
people
mobs
have all
take
been
longer to
infected.
spawn. You see,
They
for
may
the
look
BFA
fine
world
now,
mount captured
but it's
due
just a matter of
for
time
example,
before they turn
there is a
into
hyper
dead.
spawn location at this one little location on the map,
Yep.
which is also
This entire
sometimes a
city
world
must be
quest.
purged.
I
How
see
can you
plenty
even
of people
consider
doing that.
that?
Like, there's always
There's
like
got
a
to be
fucking.
some other
There's
way.
like this like monk with a
Damn it,
statue
Uther.
down
As
and
your
like
future
5
king,
people
I order you
alien
to
on
purge
there,
this city.
and they're just pumping out these
You
hyenas
are not
every
my
5
king yet,
seconds,
boy.
and that's
Nor
why
would
they're
I
like
obey
10
that command
10
even if
gold
you
on the
were.
auction.
Then I must consider this.
Most
An
annoying
act of
mouse to farm.
treason.
You can buy it, yes, but the video title
Treason.
says most annoying mouse to farm.
lost
Well,
your
yeah, but if you
mind,
can
Arthas.
farm it
Have
with
I?
gold, though, that makes
Lord
it less
Uther,
annoying, doesn't
by
it?
my right of succession
I mean,
and the
like,
sovereignty
'cause
of
the
my
thing is
crown,
with, like, the
I
Karaji
hereby
battle
relieve
tank
you
or
of your
something like
command
that, you
and
can't
suspend your
farm this
paladins
with
from
gold.
service.
Well, wait, yeah, you can.
This, you can't just.
I'm either
It's
getting
done.
5 heads or question
Those of you
marks.
who have the will to save this
What the
land,
fuck, guys?
follow me.
Like, what I'm
The rest
saying
of
is
you,
that the other mounts
get out
don't
of my
have a
sight.
gold alternative. You just have to do it on your own. And that's the difference,
Crossed
man.
a terrible
I want to see how
threshold,
much this is
Arthas.
worth.
You can basically just
Jaina.
put a group of 4 people together and constantly
sorry,
kill
Arthas.
mobs all day until you get
Can't
drunk.
watch you do
Since
this.
the mobs will spawn so quickly. And all the other mounts have a similar place, even if it's not as great as this one particular mount. Except for the Terrified Pack Mule. That one requires hunting down the mobs associated to it. And all of these mounts take about 5,000 kills on average before you get a drunk. Luckily though,
Jesus.
you can just buy this mount off the auction house if someone
Holy
else
Take
is selling it,
position here,
which is
and
not
I
the
will lead a
case for
small
almost all
force
the other
inside
mounts on this
Stratholm
list.
to begin
God
the
But
damn.
even with the availability of
We
buying
must
this mount
contain
off the
and
auction
purge
house,
the infected
it
for the
still
sake
is
of
by
all of
far the
Mordor.
least collected of all of the BFA World Drop
That's really
mounts,
surprising.
clocking it at only a 1.8% of people owning it. The
Wow.
mount is either rarely on the auction house, costs too much for the people when it is there, or is just too much of an annoying grind to actually obtain.
I don't think anybody farms these unless they're going for gold. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on 27k kills without a drop. Yeah, like, in my opinion, like, I think, like, most people probably get it unless they're, like, gold farming specifically for that. I don't know, like I've
This
had this
city
mount
will be
for so long,
cleansed.
I didn't even think
Everyone
of
looks
this.
ready. Remember,
Although
these
since this
people
is
are
one
all
of the
infected
newest
with the
mounts on this
plague and will
list,
die
that
soon.
also contributes to why
We
it has
must
such
purge
a low collection
Stratholm
rate.
to protect the
Now,
remainder
if
of
you do plan
Lordaeron
on
from the
farming
scourge.
the BFA world mounts,
Let's go.
make sure you do it in groups of 4, because if you fill up your party with a group of 5, then other people in the area won't be able to tag the same mobs. And at number 4, we have the Mighty Caravan Brutosaur. This mount can be bought.
You just get 5 million gold. You just get 5 million gold. That's it.
I can only help
Like, this
you
is
with a clean
easy.
death.
Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm so confused, guys. Like, you just get 5 million gold. What a joke.
Simply from a
That was
vendor with
just the
gold,
beginning.
and is probably
Super
the
easy.
easiest mount to obtain on this list.
Yeah.
However,
This is
this
the
mount makes
beginning.
this list at such a high spot
I've been waiting
because
for
of
you,
how much gold it
young
costs.
prince.
Since the vendor doesn't allow any reputation
And
bonuses,
now gather.
this mount will cost you 5 million gold to
As you
Yep,
purchase.
can
5
see,
Or
million
in
flat.
terms of WoW
Your
tokens,
people
based on US
are
server
now
prices when I
mine.
make this video,
Yep.
it can be
I
thought
will
to be
now
worth over
turn
$500.
city, household
Now, farming out
by
5 million gold
household,
is basically
until the
impossible for
flame
the
of
average
life has
casual
been
WoW player,
snuffed out.
and
I won't
definitely
allow it,
requires you to
Mal'Ganis.
intentionally go out
Better
and
that
farm
these
gold.
people
That's
die
how
by
you
my
do
hand
it
than
as
serve
a
as your
gold
slaves in death.
expansion. Especially since the mount will be going away once the next
Mal'Ganis will send out Scourge minions to interfere with
the
us.
Black Mark
Those of you with the
where
strongest
I
steel and
guarantee
magic
that it
shall
will
go forth
for
and
gold
destroy them.
cap every time it shows
I will
up.
lead the rest of my forces in purging
What?
Strathold from the infected.
It's like that will not. Like, why will it go for gold cap? Okay.
It's too far away. I need to get closer.
Here's why it won't go through. Because every server has a different economy. With the different economy, that brings in a different amount of gold or reward inside of that respective economy. Because of that, you'll probably see certain types of
It's too far away.
that will have the long boy go further. But the thing is that you also have most of the
I'm out of
people
range.
that are going to spend gold cap on it probably would have already spent 5 million gold on it in BFA. So many of the people that have
I need to get closer.
have already purchased this mount to begin with. So I don't think that there's going to be a large amount of people who are going to hold off on buying this mount.
I'm out of
until
range.
after the is over in order to pay a premium for more than it was
It's
originally
too far
worth.
away.
On top of that, you can look at the way the prices that World Boss mounts sell on different servers. Some servers, World Boss mounts sell for 6 million gold. Other servers, they sell for 600,000 gold. And you can also see like the Plagued Proto Drake or like the original CG mounts. The original CG mounts go for 3 or 2 on my server. But those back then, and there's no other way to obtain them at all. They haven't been able to be obtainable for 10 years. So what's going to end up happening is that you have a supply of these longbows that's not demand that would warrant a gold cap price, because many of the people that would have paid a gold cap price have already purchased the mount for 5 million gold. And also, a lot of people that still haven't done it won't have the power to do that in the first place by the very nature of the fact
I need to
that they
target
didn't
something
have BFA. Duh.
I need to get closer.
As there's lots of funds saved up because they have an auction house for an expansion or two for fun, who might just quit the game for BFA and then decide to come back for Shadowlands and then think, hey, this mount has an auction house on it and is super useful. How about I use all of my money to buy it once I see it? And so for the average WoW player, farming out 5 million gold is quite the feat. Now, there's many different ways to make 5 million gold, but if you were pure gold farm, it would take you a long amount of time than trying to achieve pretty much all the other people on this list. Or not. This list is about mounts that take the longest to obtain, and are about ones that are the most achievable to obtain, as I think getting the pack mule might take longer. Let's take an example of Sky Reach. This is one of the quickest dungeons you can run that gives a respectable amount of gold, as you can vendor everything and expect to get time. And since
That
it's
is
short
good.
and
Damn.
fast and has a teleport back to
That's
the
really
entrance
good.
after killing the final boss, you can run the entire place in about 5 minutes. And there's an instance lockout of 10 runs per hour.
I'm out of range.
So, if you run normal Sky Reach 10 times an hour, because Heroic locks you to 1 per day, which would mean you have to run Sky Reach for 1,250 hours in order to get enough gold to buy the Brutosaur. Or in terms of runs, you can do normal Sky Reach 1,500.
Gold farm now, anytime you get farming for raw gold, it's a mistake. You should never farm for raw gold anymore. You only should farm for resources because there's so much raw gold in the economy through rotting that the value of it is too low. Raw gold farming is a complete waste of time.
And this is a really good gold farm if you're trying to farm for just pure gold add-ins, i.e. not having to deal with the auction.
It's too far away.
One of the best repeatable gold farms takes you 12,500 runs in order to obtain one long boy.
Yep.
That should give you a good scope of just how annoying this mount is to farm.
It's a long fucking time, man.
It can be fun if you find a
I
whole
need to
bunch
get
of
closer.
creative the mountain. I wouldn't recommend running Skyreach 12,500 times, but maybe a handful of times on characters who've already exhausted their other goals.
Yeah, just start streaming. I don't know what the problem is. It's easy.
You are
It
too
could be a way
late,
to
champion
push
of
your way towards the goal.
Lordaeron. The
So,
dead
even though this
shall
mount can
have
be
their
bought from a vendor
day.
with no other special prerequisites other than having a crap ton of gold, it's only owned by 1.4% of the player base. That number probably won't go much higher once it's removed from the vendor in Shadowlands.
Okay.
But if you're
Ooh.
crazy enough to actually try to
There
farm
it
this
is.
mount, I'd highly
It's
suggest
too far
putting on
away.
a good podcast or audiobook so that you don't.
Yeah, that's very
Which is actually a nice segue into the sponsors. Now, when it comes
Wait,
to
what?
earbuds, for video games, I prefer to use wireless because it's really easy to accidentally pull the
Janice
wires
will
out
pay
of
for
the chair.
this.
I'm out of range.
Stand up to get something. But I also
Champions,
prioritize comfort,
meet me at the
and
town hall
Raycon
at once.
definitely delivers on that front. They have the nice kind of earbuds that go into your ear with
Hey!
the soft tip and block out noise on the outside.
This isn't
And
a
pair
mount?
real easy with my Bluetooth connector.
What the hell is
Even
this?
faster. And the
Yeah,
F25 model only has a 6-hour
Okay.
charge. The earbuds being able to recharge in the case. The case earbuds have a compact variety of different colors to choose from. And if you find my link in the video description,
I need to
you
get
get
closer.
15% off your order. So
Okay.
that's buyraycon.com/RoboRedX to get a pair for yourself. So
It's
you can
too
listen
far
to the
away.
podcast while you grind for raw gold for 8 hours a day for the next 6 months. And at number 3, we
I think that it's actually a good idea that a lot of these, what do you call it? A lot of these YouTube guys are making these embedded videos for ads.
have the Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent, who has a whopping 0.6% collection rate,
Yeah, it's
which is
super
the
rare.
lowest collection
Super
rate of all
fucking
of the
rare.
mounts on this list.
At
But
$20.
again, this video isn't about the rarest mounts or the ones that take the longest to obtain,
Yep.
just the ones that are the most annoying.
Yes,
The way
they
to
are.
get this mount is by simply killing the Shaw of Anger world boss in this
This
area.
fucking sucks.
And the Shaw of Anger spawns on a pretty reasonable respawn timer,
This
and isn't that hard
absolutely
to
fucking
find and kill
sucks.
on each of your characters, as you can only kill and collect loot from him once per week per character. So if you have 50 characters that are all able to kill the Shaw of Anger, that's 50 attempts per week. But here's the thing with the Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent.
Yep.
It has such a low chance to drop that people didn't even know it was obtainable at the launch of this.
It's 1 in 2,000. Like, this mount is a cock. Like, I know a few people, I think Nixie, one of my mods, got this mount, and a few other people as well got it. But for the most part, this shit is extremely fucking rare. Like, I haven't gotten a single world boss mount on my own. I've had to buy all of them from the black market. Like, that's
They
how
just
rare
thought it
they
was
are.
another mount Blizzard added to the game files and were just never going to move it.
Yeah,
to
people didn't
players,
even know it was
as
real.
There were a lot of Cloud Serpent models that weren't available at the start.
Yep,
But
like the blue one.
people have absolutely been farming this mount ever since Mist of Pandaria came out. And even then, it still has a less than 1% collection rate.
Yeah, it's fucking
According to
insane.
some Wowhead comments, some players were able to get the mount after only 5,000 measly kills, with a couple of people reporting upwards of 8,000 or more kills. And since you
See, that's the thing, is like it's a 1 in 2,000 mount. But that doesn't mean that you're gonna do it 2,000 times and then you get the mount. Like, you could do it like 100.
not
like,
allow this plague
you know,
to spread.
fucking like 100 times more than
Follow
that.
me.
And you
I
still
know the
wouldn't
way
really have
through.
a higher chance to get the mount. Like, it's so low that you could spend 10,000
A small sacrifice
kills
for the
on this
greater
boss
good.
and you wouldn't get it. It's such a huge waste of time. It's crazy.
can only kill it one time per week
Yes,
per character,
I'm glad I
can
could get
assume
to
it
you
took
before the
them
plague.
years to get those kinds of numbers. And at number 2,
What is
we
this
have the Time
sorcery?
Lost Proto Drake. I'm sure most people thought of this mount when they first clicked on the video, as this mount is kind
What?
of famous for being an another farm.
What?
It's very aptly named. You will waste a lot of time to farm this mount.
No, dude. dude.
May the light have mercy,
dude.
for I will not.
GGX mount? Yeah, where is the Greek god X
Mal'Ganis
video?
appears to have
This
growing
is
scourge in
8
his
years
arsenal.
ago. Look at this.
We should make haste.
Greek gaming. October 2011.
Oh my god! I just got the time now! Yeah!
More vile sorcery. Be ready for anything.
Oh my god! The time lost break! Oh my god! They call it time lost for a fucking reason!
Lordaeron will be
about
saved.
a week!
Let's move on.
A week! Yeah!
Jesus, dude, he's so happy.
Yeah! Whoa! Whoa! Yes!
Watch your backs.
Yes!
They have us surrounded in this
The
one.
end
Oh,
you
God.
know what? All I can do is this. This is what I can hear.
He's
right?
gonna do the
this
sound,
is my
isn't
add-on.
he?
This is what it finds, right?
I need to get closer.
I was like, "Ah! Ah! Ah! Ah!" And then I just see the time lost Proto Drake on that thing, and I shit myself.
City will be cleansed. Mal'Ganis is not making this easy.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna make a Minecraft video pretty soon. Love you, bye.
My favorite part about that is how he
They're
ends it
very
and telling he's
persistent.
gonna make a Minecraft video.
Now, it's chained in pretty much the exact same way as the phosphorescent stone drake. Where
this
you
is
have
easy
to
to
kill a
farm.
rare mob that has a
small
100% chance to drop
This is
it.
so easy to
It
farm.
has a 2 to 8
What
hour
else can he
respawn
put in
timer,
my way?
and shares the spawn timer with another dragon
Here,
called
Gosa.
Dragosa,
Yeah.
who spawns
Rinse
much
I
more
can't
slowly.
attack that.
Now,
I can't
the
attack
one
that
on
target.
Drake is
I
so
can't
dangerous
attack
for
that.
being
I
difficult
can't
to
attack
beat.
that target. I can't attack that. I can't attack that target. I can't attack that. I can't attack that target. I can't
Do what I
attack
must for
that.
Lord
I can't
of
attack
easier
that
now
target.
Neither your
I can't
words
attack
nor your
that.
actions
I
will
can't
stop
attack
me.
that
Like, you
target.
have a
I
five-man
can't
group,
attack that.
and, like,
I can't
one
attack that
person,
target.
like,
I don't have a target.
And then everybody just goes over there and nails it.
It does have
It's 1 in
about
10.
a
It's pretty
4%
good.
collection rate,
I can't
which is a
use
lot
that.
higher than some of the other mounts on this list. Although I should probably mention, that's still an incredibly low number for a mount that's been obtainable for over 10 years.
Yep.
And I totally would have put this as the number 1 on this list. It's basically what this list was all about. It's just the number 1 spot is definitely the most annoying mount to farm.
I will
And I'm
not
sure
allow
most
this
people
plague.
will
The quickest
agree.
path to Mal'Ganis lies
And
behind
at number
that
1,
bookshelf
we
ahead.
have the Big Love Rocket, which is a mount that can be obtained from killing
This
the
will
holiday
only
boss
take a
during the
I
moment.
have every mount on this list, man.
I'm relieved this secret
I
passage
have
still
every
works.
mount on this list. That's nice.
The Love is in the Air holiday event,
Man.
which is the World of Warcraft equivalent to Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Now, this mount has about a 1% chance to drop from the holiday boss, which is not half bad when compared to the drop chances of things like the
May the
Head
light have
Cloud
mercy.
Stone.
Let's move
But
through here as
here's the thing
quickly
with
as
the Big
possible.
Love Rocket.
If the
You can
undead
only
don't
attempt
please,
the boss for
fire's
2
mine.
turns. Once the turns are over, you don't farm it.
There are people that level up like literally dozens of years in preparation for being able to defeat. And it's not like it's like 20. It's like fucking 2K or whatever. It's super popular. I remember I got them out like last year, and she had been farming it for years. Like I know whenever I got mine, for example, like there's mine. But I have a quick reason of mine, and basically what happened is in 2013, and I lost.
Rest a moment. Fill your lungs. Must move again.
That's how it happened. It wasn't really a big deal. I just kind of got it out of the way. I just spent some time on it. Let's see it. Look at this. Right here, watch. Visualize it. There it is. I just
That's
opened
enough.
it up. That was
We
the
must
first
move
fucking
again.
day. See, it was on like the
Mal'Ganis
10th or
awaits.
whenever it was. That's whenever I got them out. It was really nice. This is a great fucking mount. You got a grind mounts today? Yeah, no sound. Well, I don't know really what I said back then, so I was being careful. Let me go back.
Wait, when the Big Love Rocket was first added to the game, players en masse thought it was bugged.
Yep.
So Blizzard had to create a blue post to confirm that no, it wasn't bugged, it just had a very low drop chance.
Yeah, it's just
Although,
broken.
I do have a friend who was able to get the Big Love Rocket for the very first time
I need a target.
for it. Probably
Yeah.
not that annoying to some people who are super lucky, but for like everyone else, this is the pinnacle of annoying mount
At
farms.
last,
Yeah, it
One
is.
that you can't even
Market
try
Row has
for
not caught fire yet.
99% of the year.
Mal'Ganis
The other
is
thing with
supposed to
this
be in
one
Crusader
is that
Square, which is just
you
ahead.
can't buy it.
Tell
Like
me when you're ready
the
to
World
move
Boss
forward.
mount, for example, you can buy the mount instead.
Because at least with the Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent, you can try to obtain it all year round. So the Big Love Rocket is just more a frustrating grind because you can only grind it for such a short amount of time each year. In addition to the fact that it has an incredibly low drop chance.
Yeah.
So with all 50 characters on your realm, you can only attempt to farm this mount 700 times per year, which sounds like a lot of attempts, and it is.
Yeah.
But I'm sure
Lordaeron
most
will
people
be
don't even know
saved.
there is a
Justice
50
will be
character
done.
count, let alone have enough max level characters to attempt that grind, or high level characters. So you're probably looking at something around 2 to 5 high level characters. for
Thanks,
the average
Tyrion. Appreciate that,
player,
man.
Which
We're going
equates
to
to about
finish this
28
right now,
to 70
Mal'Ganis.
per year,
Jesus.
which isn't really that much when it comes to
I'm out of range. I can't attack that.
All right, that's the end of the
Not
video.
allowed.
Are there any
Okay.
more potential mounts to farm that I might have missed? If so, I'd love to hear about them down in the comments. For potential another video on the same topic. This video was edited by the lovely Flying Buttress, so if you enjoyed it, you'd probably enjoy the videos on his channel as well. They are
I'll
also
hunt you to the ends of
Yeah,
the
this
earth
guy,
if I
yeah,
have
this
to.
video is
Do
actually
you hear
Also,
me?
Did you know
To the ends of the
only
earth!
30.1% of people who watch these videos are actually
You performed well this day.
Oh,
Anything that
that's
Mal'Ganis has left
clever.
behind is yours.
That is
Take it as
clever,
your reward.
boys. Let me go
Let us
ahead.
now
I'll
begin
link this one
plans
right
for an
here.
expedition to Northland.
There it is. World of Warcraft's most disappointing moment. So we're gonna start at the beginning. Right there, dude. That's one. One of the mount off. No, no. Not looking for a girlfriend.
Disappointment, sadness,
This is a bit
or
loud.
displeasure caused by the non-fulfillment of one's hopes or expectations. Throughout World of Warcraft's history, there have been huge highs. From its launch in 2004, it
Yep.
soared to new heights with the Great Burning Crusade expansion, ultimately peaking in the Wrath of the Lich King, where it attained an all-time high of around 12 million subscribers. With every high, there's also a low, however, and the game has
Yeah.
had a number of disappointing events in its 15-year run so far. Moments where fans' expectations were soaring in the heavens, but when the time came to deliver, they were left soured to not only World of Warcraft, but Blizzard Entertainment as a whole. In this video, we'll chronicle some of the biggest disappointments in the game's history.
That fucking picture, dude. I love that fucking
In
picture.
2019, players enjoyed a trip to the past with Blizzard's official recreation of the game in its original state in 2004 to 2007, often referred to as vanilla. They were thrilled to re-experience the world as it once was, with all
I
of the
still have the
original
video of the live
classes,
crowd reaction. I never uploaded it.
skills,
Ooh,
talent systems.
ranks.
They reminisced on the early days of raiding in particular.
Those were the
where
days,
the maximum
boys.
cap was 40 players.
Those
and
were the
game modes such
days.
as looking for raid or LFR were entirely absent. A difficulty setting that's often seen as being too easy, requiring minimal effort or thought to complete it
It's a
fully.
good thing Classic is there.
With Classic
That
having
won't
just
happen.
one difficulty, there were no easy options, players thought. And
No.
just like the old days, only the most hardcore would be able to survive.
That's right. Players are garbage at the game. 6 days. 42-minute BWL. 19 mana next year.
What players
This isn't
didn't realize,
vanilla.
however, was that not only were these
It'd be
raids
vanilla if it
not
was
as
a
hard as they
3-man.
remembered, but they were rather quite easy.
Yeah, they were.
2004 to 2007 was a different time. It was during the dawn of the internet.
God, dude.
People had
Look at
bad
those
connections.
nerds.
Video
All of
sharing
them are bald
websites
now.
such as YouTube or Pornhub didn't exist
Yep.
yet, or were still in their early stages. Database websites were extremely limited,
Yep.
as were add-ons, and a lot of the information and strategies for bosses were shared through word of mouth or online text guides.
Yep.
Combine this with the fact that the World of Warcraft was the first MMO for many people, and for some their first game period, set an unrealistic expectation of the difficulty of these old raids.
He's
We all
doing
know
a lot
that the
of
first
damage.
time is the most awkward. It's a
he
learning
had
experience
BRE.
for everyone involved.
Never mind.
For many, it was the beginning of a long and wonderful journey, and for others, it lasted,
few days.
5 seconds.
Yeah, somewhere
But you
around
heard
there.
it before. I don't need to go into specifics. The molten core, as well
You
as
think you
Onyxia,
do,
were within
but
the
you
first
don't.
week by the Guild Apes. This is also taking into account the time it took to even level the characters,
Yep.
and many members weren't even level 60 yet.
This was really
And that's
impressive,
not
the
to
fact
compare
they
the
did
entire
this.
raiding scene to the most hardcore, but in general,
Yeah.
coming from someone who had no life and raided back then, it's undeniably easier. Gear optimizations,
Yep.
rotation, optimization, loot distribution, add-ons, all of it.
Yep.
Everything's been
Ooh, the
optimized
bow.
to such an insane degree that there's hardly anything hard anymore.
It's
Not that
so
there's anything wrong with
optimized.
that. I mean, what's the alternative? Suck intentionally? Guys,
Yeah. I think people do that. They play bad specs. That's what they do. Yeah, obviously the game is way fucking easier. Yeah, it's way fucking easier. Like, itemization makes it a little bit easier. I think MC got nerfed once. If they bring out TVC, I do hope that they make sure they release all of the bosses and everything with all of their pre-nerf values. Minus the Karazhan ones, because those were overtuned. Like, Nightbane was super overtuned. Maybe even Gruul was kind of overtuned. But besides that, like, I want to have everything with their original pre-nerf values. Maru? Yes, even Maru. I think Maru will be a lot easier now than it is. Minus Vash. See, I didn't do Vash whenever it just came out. And so I didn't do, actually, Karazhan hardly whenever it came out either. But I don't think that would be it. Unnerved Kale? Yeah, put it out there. See what happens.
we're doing a little too well here. For the next fight,
I think they
let's all
should have
keep
done that
on
with,
turning backpedal. It just comes
with
with the
Cthulhu.
territory with recreating anything in life, really. You can never really truly recreate your very first time.
No, you can't.
And even going outside of optimization for a while, the fights themselves are rather straightforward compared to today, where you have multiple phases, on top of more complex rotations and everything.
Yeah, mechanics
It's
are
understandable.
nothing.
It was the early stages of raiding, before there was a set standard, but something that's aged pretty poorly. It's not bad, it's just easy. A lot of these fights feel like trash mobs. They go down faster than current subscription numbers. Only time will tell if the upcoming raids will share a similar fate to the players.
Hey.
As this video is made just after
Hey.
the re-release of the Black Relay raid. But the knowledge and skill we've collectively accumulated over the past 15 years was something that was surely taken for granted by players.
Yeah.
And we were disappointed to realize that it wasn't the mechanics or the actual boss fights that stopped me back then, but rather
They
the collective
suck.
lack of experience with the game.
People sucked back then. Like, that's what it is. Oh God, Sylvanas.
Have you ever read a really bad fan fiction of your favorite TV show or anime?
Yeah, I called it
Oftentimes,
Warlords of
people will
Draenor.
fantasize a representation of themselves within these fantasy worlds, commonly referred to as self-inserts.
Yep.
A lack of skill in writing and storytelling often results in these characters being ultimately powerful and falling victim to common fictional tropes.
Yep.
No matter what seemingly insurmountable odds they face, they always seem to come out as the victor. Like when you played Cops and Robbers with your friends, and you get them, and they claim that they have some invisible bullshit force field or something.
We can't beat the Hulk, man.
Enter Sylvanas Windrunner.
Yep. I am so tired of this bitch,
Not for
man.
having been established in the lore for many years, many would believe for her to
I
be
am
one
so
these
tired of
characters.
her.
With the release of the Battle for Azeroth expansion, she's become a key player in the story of the game. As the new war chief of the Horde, she goes on a savage campaign, slaughtering many innocents along
Yep.
the way in a Disney-esque villain-like fashion, murdering civilians, burning down capitals, betraying her own faction, executing comrades. The only thing that's missing on her bucket list is drowning a basket of kittens.
That's for Shadowlands. Have you guys ever noticed that almost every single female character in WoW goes through a crazy arc? You have Jaina, Sylvanas, Yrel. Like, I really, like, if you think about it, they all go through a crazy arc. Tyrande, yep, there you go. Ilaria, yeah, I mean, she literally got possessed by an old god. Nobody ever talks about this, you know what I mean? Ysera, yeah, look at that.
But surely this madness will come to an end. Surely, out of the millions of inhabitants of Azeroth, someone could put a stop to her reign of terror.
Yep.
Of course, it would be the entirety of the Alliance army, including Jaina Proudmoore in her magical boat, and also Anduin Rin, armed with Charlemagne. Or maybe the King of Furries, Gen Greymane.
Nope.
Yep. Nope.
Well, if not them, it's definitely the combined might of the Archdruid, Malfurion Stormrage, and Tyrande Whisperwind.
Yep.
Nope.
Well, maybe Sourfang?
Nobody thought
the
Sourfang
legendary
was
orc
going to come
warrior?
out ahead. He's like 80 years old. Nobody thought that was going to happen. Okay, dude.
No, all disregarded and dispatched, with a smile and just one single scratch. Heh,
Yep.
nothing personal, kid. Well, if not any of them, about the King of all Undead,
Yep.
the ultimate evil jailer of all unliving in the entire world, and the focus of an entire 2-year expansion, in unending evil, the Lich King. And he's down. Seriously.
Like, I got it that, like, Bolvar is not as powerful as Arthas. But this was stupid. Like, this was stupid. I don't... See, Sylvanas' plans are so... They're so into... She's so secretive with her plans that the writers don't even know what she's going to do next. She tricks even the writers. And I don't know what the fuck to say about this, but I'm really upset about what happened with Bolvar. This was... I know I would... Like, the cinematic looked cool, but I was so angry watching this cinematic. I was so fucking upset about it.
How may I be useful?
Seriously, he didn't even put up a fight.
No,
One
he
of the
didn't.
most powerful beings since the beginning of the game's history
Yeah.
didn't even get a single hit in, and was left crying on the floor over his broken toy,
Pathetic.
essentially being toyed with the entire fight as if it were an episode of Naruto.
Yeah.
Players for years have been eagerly awaiting the return of that large toy. It was once Ner'zhul and then Arthas Menethil, and now Bolvar Fordragon. He was the focus of an entire expansion of what many consider to be the height of the game. Since the expansion's end, he's been the jailer of all undead in the world, lording over his kingdom in the Ice-Crown Citadel.
I was
Still
so
an ever-present
hyped,
threat,
man.
he
I
made
was so
appearances
fucking
during the
hyped.
Legion expansion, commanding the Death Knights of Azeroth to fight against the Burning Crusade. And
Yep.
It seemed like Blizzard had big plans for him. So when the cinematic for Shadowlands came out, and people saw him getting ready to face off against Sylvanas, they flipped out. Surely he would be the one to end her reign of terror. Undead King versus Undead.
And
But not only did he fail to stop her,
the thing
he got
is,
completely embarrassed.
this didn't even need to happen. The funny thing about it is they literally could have had Bolvar beat Sylvanas, and the same storyline could have happened. It's so fucking stupid. And people are like, oh, well, he didn't have the powers. Like, oh, really? So he just made that Blizzard because he's a paladin. Give me a fucking break. Yeah, she is a girl. That's true. I forgot about that.
Is it really necessary to be on the bridge by the end of it?
This world
Closer.
prison.
It's not a play. 10 years. We've waited over 10 years to see one of your favorite villains on the big screen. And this is what we got. It's like, geez, is he still level 80 or something? What's going on here?
Question me.
This isn't as much
Yeah, pretty much.
Sylvanas as it has been. The most great villains in Warcraft history look like a chump. They explained in the lore why Sylvanas is so strong.
Yeah.
She's made a deal with the jail in the Shadowlands, where she grows in power as people die. That doesn't mean it's good storytelling. Fans have to like it. Ultimately powerful and undefeatable villains are shallow and boring characters, no matter the reasoning behind them. I mean, why do we have Sargeras banished right now? Sylvanas is so goddamn just release him. Their anime combat. She'll surely just as easy as the others.
Yeah, of course.
On the next episode of Sylvanas Ball Z, the games are over. Your heroine is home of the dreaded Lich King.
I think he was
Without
just
even wiping
about
her
his eye water.
shoes. Little did he know though, she came prepared.
Jesus Christ, man.
And remember, cool banshees don't look at explosions. Will anyone ever stop her? Does anyone even care anymore? Find out on the next exciting episode of Sylvanas Ball Z.
Fucking ridiculous.
And number 6, a disappointing moment when the Lich King was made into the Bitch King.
I'm not happy about it, man.
Stepping outside the game
I
for a
forgot
moment,
about
it's been
this
a pretty
one.
hefty past couple of years of scandals for Blizzard.
Oh,
I'll tell you
God.
what. It seems like every few months there's this huge controversy they're at the center at. Warcraft 3 Reforged, the banning of Blitzchung amidst the Hong Kong protests,
Yeah.
and the prize pool scandal. Since 2002, Blizzard has officially held a competitive esports event for World of Warcraft, called the Arena World Tournament, where teams players score up against each other for prizes and glory in the game's Arena Mode PvP system. The prize pool for the winners ranged from $120,000 in 2008 to $280,000 in 2018, all funded by Blizzard themselves.
$280,000. Split 4 ways. So that's what, 140 divided by 2, it's 70,000. $70,000 is going to go to taxes for prize pool. So you come out of it with about 40 grand. So you either can be a McDonald's manager or win Blizzard. Split between all places? Wait, it's split between all places? 280k total. I don't know what I was thinking. You're right.
And since then, with the advent of Mythic Plus,
Oh my
the
God.
addition of another event called the Mythic Dungeon International,
Okay, then
also
just
with its own
part-time.
prize pool. For 2019, however, the stakes had been raised.
They sure had.
Blizzard announced the release of 2 toys in the World of Warcraft cash shop.
And
that
we
if
all
players were to
wanted
buy
this.
them, 25% of the proceeds would contribute towards 2019's Arena World Championship
25%.
and Mythic.
And I even defended this 25% number because that's the same thing that Dota used. I even fucking defended it because it was an industry standard. I'm mad.
Dungeon International, guaranteeing that at least $250,000 for each event. So, this led players to believe that this would come from Blizzard. 100% from the sales of the toys would be added on top of that. However, when
Fucking
time
idiots.
came to announce the prizes,
Players
were
are so
disappointed
stupid.
and outraged to learn that unlike every esport event previous to 2019, Blizzard had not funded their own prize pool.
Surprise!
Instead, used the entirety of the toy sales to serve as revenue for 2019's tournaments, totaling $330,000 for each event.
And I gave
A
them
life
the
lived in
benefit of the doubt
service
with this.
is a life
Remember
well
whenever
lived.
this happened? I remember very
You
clearly.
were once
I was
one of the
getting
most
carried
loyal to our
in
ways,
BRD
to
on
our
my
Archon.
Warlock. And
You
I
must
was like,
repel
I don't know if
these
this is
dark
true or
thoughts.
not. And Snuts
You can
fucking
save
messages
your
me.
followers.
Like, well, no, because
Save
I'm like, there's
yourself.
no way
Stop
Blizzard can do
Masonia's
something
ritual.
this fucking
We
stupid.
cannot allow her
There's
to
no
overpower
way.
the
There's
Paragon.
absolutely no way.
I
And
must
you know
find
what?
the Paragon.
Finish this.
Snuts
Comes
compassion
on you.
should be more than enough aid for you on the
And
ground.
I was wrong. I was wrong. You still remember that? I remember everything. Like, Sam passing. Well, no, I'm not. Here's like a line of logic that I use, right? And so I have like a general like a way that I see the world and expect the world to go. And whenever things go outside of the window that I expect them to go in, right? Like too well or too badly, I assume something weird happened outside of just the normal situation, right? It makes me question as to whether what I'm seeing is real or not. Okay, you see what I'm saying? That's autism? No, it's not. That's common sense. It's like if I randomly see something crazy happen, it's like, oh wow, an alien came down from space. Well, I'm going to just assume that probably didn't fucking happen. You know what I mean? Because it's outside of the normal window of what happens on an everyday basis, and my rational mind has led me to believe and expect will happen inside of the world that we live in. But, and so, like, I expect, I'm like, there's no way Blizzard would do this. Like, how could anybody say this is a good idea? Who's there at Blizzard, sitting there, like, yeah, so, we're just gonna take the money. Yeah. Fuck them.
Again, through the wording of the initial announcement, it was believed that Blizzard would put up $250,000 for each,
Deliberately
and
misleading.
then 25% of the proceeds from the toy sales would contribute towards the prize
Still
pools.
play their game.
Miriam,
Yeah.
could you define the
gonna buy
word
a toy
contribute
again,
for
though.
us?
Contribute. To give our supply in common with others.
Oh, in common.
To give or supply in common with others.
I guess they let us
meaning
use the
not
venue
sole
for
source
BlizzCon.
of funding. It's like being invited to a party and everything's all la-di-da, and all of a sudden you're paying for everything. Oops. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to
Ben
toy
Shapiro?
with you. Many believe that with the success of the toy, they decided to save themselves some extra and put the responsibility of funding the prize for their own tournament player base. A sentiment that was later conveyed by participants in the tournaments. They felt as if the rug was pulled out from under them and removed by a billion-dollar corporation to abuse the charitable nature of their own customer base,
Yeah.
and to save some money to pay all of their hard-working employees some extra. Oh shit. Well, never mind that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty bad. I think the worst part about it is that the players were misled.
I will
If Blizzard
repel
had
you with
said
my
ahead of
entire
time
being.
that they were just going to have that replaced by prize pool, like, some people would have been disappointed about that, but nobody would have been, like, it would have been better. Like, if they had just said that at the beginning. But you know why they didn't do that? You know what I believe? Is because if they had done that, it would have encouraged the best people to buy the toys. They wouldn't be taking advantage as much of good people's faith. Or people's good faith, sorry. I fucking confused myself. I think they intentionally misled people to allow them to buy the toys. And the funny thing about it is that they probably would have made more money if they just put in the $1 million. Because now they can never do another crowdfunded event again because people are going to be super skeptical of it and nobody's going to buy them. They were keeping 75% of the money, and now the next time they do this, it's probably going to be never. They're keeping 0% of the money. It was such a stupid decision. I know people still buy. A lot less people will buy, and people will actively discourage other people from buying. Short gains, that's all they care about? Hey, you're
Coming
not
in at
wrong.
number 4, we have the Battle for Azeroth expansion. The final patch,
Just like the whole
8.3,
thing.
is finally out. We can
Not
call
like,
the
oh, one
expansion
part. No, just
finished.
the whole thing.
It's 2017. The Legion expansion is coasting along, doing
Yeah.
fairly well, in fact. A smooth recovery from that expansion, and players are comparatively having a good time. As expected, we get to expansion. The battle. Now that Sargeras has been dealt with and his Burning Crusade over, and the major features of the expansion engage in epic scenarios against the opposite faction called Warfronts, in a game that's reminiscent of the old strategy games. It's all out
I was
war,
so hyped about this
largely
shit.
over a new resource called Artiphazerite.
I like how they just call it
Obtainable
artifact
from
power
another
too.
major system
In
called
like
Island
interviews.
Expeditions, where you team up with 2 allies and supermarket sweep. There's much else around.
It is a
Players collect the
supermarket
special
sweep.
resource to power up. Special armor pieces known as Azerite.
I like Azerite armor. I think it's cool.
Developers will have to explain that we are to receive 3 different pieces of this armor, all
Yep.
layered with different tiers of special affixes.
I
that
know
would
some
change the
people
game as
disagree
we
with me.
know it.
I like it. I think it's
The
cool.
more Azerite you collect, the more powers you unlock, creating layers of customization to
Doesn't mean I
ensure
want
that
it to
not one
continue.
player has the same experience.
I think the idea of it should continue though.
When the day came, players eagerly awaited to sink their teeth into this new, revolutionary, and it's just a bunch of passives. Increase
You
your
will
mastery,
not stop our cause.
versatility. There's an X chance.
Yeah, some of the tier 3 stats are bad, but I think that Azerite armor improved a lot over the expansion, and some of the Azerite traits do change the way that you play the game. And while I don't have I don't like Azerite, do I like it more than tier gear? No, I do not like it more than tier gear. I would rather have tier gear than Azerite gear. That being said, I like the customization that Azerite armor gives you, but the way that it was implemented was bad and not
that using previously you'll certainly find combinations that reinforce your favorite way to play your character.
Nearly every single one of these affixes would be boiled down to a simple DPS, healing, or mitigation increase, and didn't change anything. A new and fresh way to customize your character ended up falling victim to the same problem the game has faced since its birth in 2004. There's no real choice because there will always be a best.
That's true. I don't think there's anything that Blizzard can ever do that's gonna fix that. Like, there's always gonna be a best. Like, corruption in a lot of ways kind of like that, though. I will never forget. But there are a lot of people that they want to use infinite stars. There are other people that want to use like stat.
We are losing power.
They're like stat boosters, where it's like 12%. Other people want to use Twilight Devastation for like a 2-pack or something like that, or Hive Mind. Like fucking the corruptions actually is Blizzard's best shot that they've taken in the last 5 years to muddy the waters and make it harder to sim and just pick out what the best is. Yeah.
Single target.
Still alive?
Yeah. Really altered in its promise.
He's in
really
Cuba.
Just don't feel bad. Just stay stationary and wait for promise. That's the story of the Azurectile dysfunction. As for warfronts, players were disappointed to learn that there was no people.
Azurectile
An entire expansion based
coming
for the game
and
mode.
you
Once
must
they saw it,
That's
will
right.
succumb to the
and with the
pride he has
difficulty
locked
setting
away
even easier
inside.
than raiding in classic World of Warcraft. It's quite common, in fact,
Oh,
to
that
find
must be
players
my alt
just
there.
AFK auto-running into a wall. It
Yeah.
is nearly impossible
That's
to
all I
even
would do,
lose the
too.
game mode. Nearly the whole team would have to be AFK.
I like how whenever they introduce warfronts, and remember whenever we all got a raid together of people and we intentionally lost the warfront. Before that, there was like, remember back in like fucking 2005, 2006, where people would talk about how to get Ashbringer or something like that, or some rare item in the game, and everybody had like a friend of a friend of a friend who had a story about it happening to them. I feel like that same mystique was built around using a warfront.
There is work to be done.
That's how rare it was.
As for island expeditions, these were as advertised, but players saw little depth behind the changing environments and enemies, as each instance could be boiled down to rush to get X Azerite before the other team. The experience was also hampered by the reward system, which was mostly based off of RNG and an insanely small chance to get a mount, which was the main reason for doing them other than that Azerite.
Yep.
Combining this with the advent of loot caches and Titan forging added even more RNG to an already overladen RNG loot system and left quite a foretaste in people's mouths.
Fucking picture, dude.
Like biting into a chocolate to find a coconut. Credit
They're
to
not
Blizzard,
that bad.
these systems
They're not
as a
caramel
whole
either.
were received so negatively that they got makeovers in later patches. But all of this would only come nearly 1 year after the expansion's release.
See, like, that's the main thing that I don't like them to do in Shadowlands, because I feel like it's manipulative and intentionally
I will take compassion with me and meet you in
disrespectful to
Oropos.
players' time.
I must prepare myself.
I think if they want to introduce a
This
system,
is not a journey most
if they
Kyrian will
introduce a
ever
system
make.
without obvious quality of life features, and then choose to withhold those quality of life features until later on, to where enough people cross a threshold to where they feel like it's useful to now introduce a quality of life feature to then re-incentivize people to use the system again, I'm gonna be really upset. Like, that's gonna be one of the only things that might actually get me to just like probably like not really give a fuck about the game, because it's just so I don't know, it's just so like on the nose disrespectful to players' time. Care about now? Yeah, I care about the game.
By this time, many players had already dropped the game, This expansion's main features fell flat on their face when Blizzard failed to deliver on their promises. And as for the dailies, oh boy, the dailies.
Yep.
What? We talked about this before? Well, don't look at me. I gotta get my daily complaining in. It gives plus 100 depression. It's Mazurite.
I don't think
But
the
holy
dailies
mother
are
of
that
God,
bad.
There's so much daily and weekly stuff in this expansion.
But the problem, like,
Here's a full
what he's saying now is true. It's not about this stuff. No, listen to what I'm saying. It's not that the 8.3 dailies are too much. It's that all of the dailies in the game that you're simultaneously expected to do are too much. That's the problem, in my opinion. Like, if I only had to do the 8.3 dailies and that was it and nothing else mattered, it would be fine. It's like an hour of time a day. I mean, you guys remember back in Burning Crusade, if you played back then, all the time, like, the first thing that you do whenever you log on is go around and do the Isle of Quel'Danas dailies. And, like, that was kind of fun. So it's not like, Ogre dailies, or whatever. An hour? I do them in an hour. Yeah, probably less than that, actually. So it's not like this is a new thing or anything like that. It's the fact that the responsibilities and things that you need to keep up with in BFA compounded on each other. And now, I remember I would have, like, whenever I was on break on streaming, I would probably spend, like, I've literally got a list right there. I'll show you guys. Like, why don't I just show you guys? Just a second. That's a list of things that I needed to do every day. Nazjatar and Horde, Mechagon, Arachnoid Harvester, Garrison Garden, Blacksmith Daily Crest, Kufan, Direhorn, Seething Shore, Battle for Nazjatar, and then the train team. So I literally made myself a list of all the things that I needed to do each day, and I didn't even put like 50-70% of the things on that list. And I did even more than that. Like, I would spend like fucking 5 hours a day doing WoW chores. It was disturbing.
List, in fact. We have daily world quests on 7 zones, a daily emissary, daily quests in Mechagon, daily quests in Nazjatar.
Oh, here we go.
Daily quests in the 2 assault zones.
See, none of those were on the list.
Daily mini-vision,
Jump
your daily
in
mission table
into
missions,
the well of
your daily
souls
Warfront
being
contribution
carried to their
quests,
eternal
and if you control the
damnation
Warfronts,
with little
daily
hope of
quests in
freedom
2
and
more
redemption.
zones, a daily faction incursion, and as for weekly, we have the Island Expedition Bar, world bosses in 5 zones, base BFA, bosses, natural targets off the zone. We have 2 Warfront scenarios on 2 difficulties. We have the latest raid on 4 difficulties. The weekly Greater Assault Bar, your weekly Call to Arms quests, your weekly PvP chest, your weekly Mythic Plus chest, your weekly Adventure Guide quest. Ooh, this weekly is to complete dailies. Nice. You also have your weekly Against Overwhelming Odds quest if you're outnumbered. And finally, you have your weekly Vision loot at multiple tiers.
Okay. That's only for an average player. For a loser like me, there's tons of other things that you have to do too, right? To get like all the completionism content as well. That's what's so crazy about it, is that you talk about like, this is what an average player does. I need to do this times 5. It's crazy.
The only thing that's missing are daily quests to complete dailies. Oh wait, those are emissaries.
Oh
There's so
my
many
god,
daily
I never
and
even
weekly
thought
tests
about it
to do
like
in the
that.
game. It'll
Wow.
make your head spin. Nearly everything is tied to some sort of daily or weekly lockout. It starts to become a chore to do. It's an excuse to get you to log in every day to feed into engagement metrics rather than from a place of
that's
fun,
what I was saying
due to
earlier.
the failure of the previous Battle for Azeroth was a lukewarm expansion at best, which tries desperately to maintain a player base with 400 forms of daily
I have tracked
and
the
weekly
Sonia
busy
to
work
beyond these
to make up
gates.
for its shortcomings.
My initial
It
scouting
didn't
was
live up to the standards
worrisome.
and expectations set by Legion and many players.
I shall fight for all we believe in.
RPG gaming, role-playing game, character
What's
development, progression. These terms are synonymous with the genre. Even
Not
before
anymore.
the advent of video games,
The
role-playing
only thing
and
that's
Dungeons and
synonymous
Dragons
with the genre now
have been a
is
core staple of
microtransactions.
every single RPG in history.
Sorry for
You
talking.
create your own character, your own story, and through a lot of time and effort,
My
with
weapon
power,
and
skill,
my wings.
whether it's
I
a
remember.
Master Sword in The Legend of Zelda, learning spells in Final Fantasy, or gaining another skill point in RuneScape.
God, I love that
Character
game.
leveling and progression is paramount to any RPG in existence. MMOs included. Sacred.
I used to love that game, man. Dylan stole it. He stole my game. I don't know where it is.
Enter the level boost. 2014. Most of them are expected. Interesting bleeding subscribers. Everything's way too RPG with this approach, we could reverse the destruction.
No. Come on.
Or all the above. Well, the answer is to forsake everything sacred to the RPG genre. You must define progression. Throughout its lifespan, with the other cash shop, services like race transfer, those are common.
Like, the race, I don't care about. The level boost, in my opinion, I think that the faction change is more harmful and detrimental to the game than the level boost. I genuinely think that the outcome and the culture of the faction. Why do I think that? Oh, okay. And I'm only speaking from like a max level semi-hardcore perspective. The problem is because players are expected to kind of move factions, and if one faction is slightly more powerful than the other one, because the option to change is so easy, it immediately hurts the other faction in a massive way. And that's why we see now the Alliance Hall of Fame sometimes doesn't even get filled up for an entire team. And that affects PvP massively. It affects PvE in an even worse way. And it has like a cascading effect. And that actually affects everyone's gameplay. The level boost effectively only allows the player to cheat themselves out of experience. But the faction boost creates a culture and a society that serves everything. That's why I think it's more harmful. But I don't think either one is particularly good. If I had a wrong, I would wave both of them away. Yep. Yep. They sure are.
It's actually mind-blowing. Subscription,
it's
and it has an in-game shop.
So what do you mean you have to pay the game? You also have to buy the fucking game. It's buy to play, pay to play, with paid microtransactions.
Mounts, character services.
Jesus.
Paid level boost serves no purpose in an RPG setting.
Absolutely not.
It acknowledges that you failed.
You make so much money off this.
Players would pay money to skip an important aspect in the game. You ever use Game Shark?
I need to get closer.
How may I serve you?
I did, yeah.
You level up to the max.
Archon's wisdom prevails.
And then you quit the game because it's boring.
Well, it's fun for about 10 seconds because you realize you've earned nothing. There's nothing left to do but to bully everything in the game.
Yeah.
Imagine buying level boosts in Final Fantasy VII at the start of the game, skipping to Disc 3.
Yep. That's the speed
what's
run.
that I hear you say? It's a bad comparison because one is single player and the other is multiplayer. Well, I agree. It's
Yeah,
even worse.
There it is.
No longer.
Yep.
I get a credit spree, but rather to get the best gear and be better than everyone else. And when you start introducing ways to pay to get ahead of other players, it is a big part of what makes MMO special. Add on to that the ability to buy gold, and many other things.
I feel like the problem, like that's the issue now, is that like, do you think we can ever really have the integrity of BOE items in the game now that we have the WoW token? Because like I like the idea of being able to farm gold and buy BOEs because it gives casual players a way to gain rate progression progress. But the issue now is that because you can just buy them, the muddies the water so much, and buying tokens is such a common and accessible thing. It's gonzo. Yeah, I mean, like, I wish maybe it would be better if you could only buy like 1 a week. If you could only buy 1 a week, I would be a lot more okay with it. And like, actually, yeah, only a week. Yeah, 1 a week I think is reasonable. 1 a month. Listen, like, I mean, if you guys want to say 1 a month, okay, that's great. But at least like 1 a week would be fine with me, and just see how it happens or see how it changes the economy. Because I don't know, I feel like there's so much potential that you could have in the economy that you just lose out on whenever you take the integrity away. And I think that's what the WoW token really did, and that's why it's such a problem whenever we have corruption, is because the integrity is completely broken in the game. And a game's integrity is ultimately what makes a game matter. It's like whenever you play a fucking BR, like how many BR games has there been where a month after release, whenever you die, there's always a thought in your back of your mind, I wonder if that person was cheating. And whenever you have that thought in the back of your mind, that replaces the thought of how can I get better at the game. And it's an awful scenario to be in. And I think that WoW kind of has created it for themselves. Call of Duty Warzone? Well, yeah, it's happening in Warzone a lot now. It happened in every game.
Pretty much 2 key features in the MMORPG genre.
Integrity of the game is the only thing that really matters.
Solely for the sake of money. They add nothing to the game.
It doesn't have integrity. Then the accomplishments mean nothing.
The game as a whole suffers under the influence of
Yep.
At number 3 on our list, we have when Blizzard forced suddenly
killed PUBG, it sure fucking
by
did.
allowing players to pay for progression.
It's too far away.
Almost there. It's a big deal. Left to do is to move on to the next thing. For MMOs, that's critical. This is
Nobody gave a fuck about this. You guys remember this? Like, if you played at the end of the season, like, nobody cares, really, except for, like, Sunwell guilds and, like, some BT guilds that were stuck on Brutalis or something. They couldn't figure out how to do Sunwell. Nobody cared, because the majority of the player base wasn't that fucking guy. So it didn't matter how long the content route was if the players never finished the content in the first place. I want to see the last longer. Yeah, like we cleared Sunwell, but we got up to Thelmus. I think we killed Thelmus before 3.0 came out, and then obviously we just like fucking rolled it. And I think they tried to finish that right at but before that, like we had gotten to finish the race. And after no, we said we saw like I think so besides that, like even as a more hardcore build, we did like 4 or 5 days a week. And even if we had more things to do, that's the beauty of a new player coming into the expansion a year after it comes out has a year's worth of content. And now Blizzard just rolls that over every fucking patch. It's like they're deleting their own content.
The release was, of course, November of the same year, so less than 8 months this time. Okay, a little long for that, but workable, especially considering how good the
future of Bastions is in our hands.
Maybe they had a hiccup in development, and surely they'll have mastered the process for the next one.
I feel a familiar energy pulling me to the west. We must stop whatever Lasonia and her master have planned.
No. What do you mean is a year? It's 365 days, man. I hate this fake news, dude. Matt Season's just trying to push an agenda here. It's not a whole year. What do you mean? That's not a whole year? That's less than a year. I remember I made this joke about how you could literally have a kid and be doing ICC, like get a girl pregnant and be doing ICC and have the kid and also still be doing ICC. And Zach, like a McElreevy, he reminded me, we have a mutual friend, Hayden. Hayden literally had a kid, got hooked up with his girlfriend, had a fucking kid. He was doing ICC whenever they were dating, and he was doing ICC whenever they were fucking having a baby. It was the funniest shit ever.
Well, it is on such a grand scale. Not only are we getting these
Capitalism had a lot of potential.
Are also being changed as well. It's a big expansion with big ambitions, so surely the next one will be
weapon
better.
skill wasn't that great.
10 months for pandas.
Well, we had Diablo 3 come out then, so it was more okay.
Little did players know, they haven't seen anything yet.
Literal Wrath, baby, yeah.
Well, maybe I guess they actually were used to seeing nothing at this point, maybe. They're just tapping their foot, taking in the wonders of furry Disneyland, waiting for the next big thing.
You have been a useful pawn, Luther. Devils may have treasured you,
16.
but I have no.
Oh, never mind. It was only 14.
Wait 14 months this time
I see my future clearly. The Archon shall fall by my blade.
And I had no problem waiting.
Bastion
By the way, I had
will
absolutely
be
no
mine.
problem waiting. Warlords and Draenor, I thought was going to be great. Siege of Orgrimmar was pretty good, and the end of Mob got really boring, but it got boring a lot slower.
Tyrion. I am the paragon of doubt, and I have little patience for your
Although
continued
some may argue that
interruptions.
Legion was at least worth the wait.
It was.
This was the 1-2 death punch that knocked out a large amount of subscriber base. As the game was a stagnant as my backside, and players were disappointed to learn that a long way does not equate to a good expansion.
Course Master, these minions of the Archon are nothing.
Sadness or displeasure is not hopes or expectations. 2014,
Oh god!
players have suffered 14 months of jobs since the final patch.
Literal shit in the bucket.
What a great expansion this must be. That's awesome.
I thought it was going to
Going
be.
back to Outland. Well, Draenor this time actually.
I thought it was going to be Hong Kong thing.
Changed to what we saw in the Burning Crusade.
Come,
You were always
let me get you to
weak
safety.
Burning
follow the
Crusade,
true
thought
path.
by many to be the prime
Devils
of the
should have
game.
left you to
It had all
rot
of the
in that
conventions
field.
from Classic, except there was some semblance of class balance, memorable raids, PvP. Okay, and that was a pretty good 2-year print compared with us on the Pandari expansion right now.
Yeah.
A good old
Haste is
out of
more
season
important than stealth
news
now.
joke.
Let us fly to the Waystone and escape the mob quickly.
He's like,
But it's nice to
fuck.
finally get back to our roots. People were hyped. Don't believe me? Well, the
Must have been the
subscriptions don't
Nintendo
lie.
64.
Because at this point, the game had the biggest surge in subscribers. The
for
highest it's
saving
been
me
in
from the
Everybody thought it was going to be
with
amazing.
some mixed
I
bag.
fear that there
Almost
would
to
be
rat levels,
nothing
in
left
fact.
of me if you
Yeah.
had
Just
not
the atmosphere
intervened
at the
when
time
you
was
did.
something you had to witness.
It was
It was
fucking
announced
awesome.
How do you
at
fare
BlizzCon
with that?
2013, and people were ready.
I remember waking up and I watched the cinematic with my mom.
Listen to it.
My wounds
Yay, garrisons. Those sound awesome.
Though we may be
You have
enemies,
your own
so
mining
good.
nodes,
Would not have
so you
been
don't have
right
to
to leave
compete
you
with
to
other
suffer.
players. You have your own herb garden, so you don't have to compete with other players.
We are quite
you can make your own profession buildings, so you don't have to interact with other players.
Perhaps
And
one
you
day
can run
we
mobile
can
gaming
speak more of
missions,
that.
and even recruit
For
your own
now,
followers so
let
that
us
you can
escape this
pretend that
wretched
you have
place.
friends. After 2
I didn't really dislike the follower system. I just disliked that they made you do it. Like the the BFA follower system, I think is great. It's completely optional. There's no real impact that it has in the game. But it's something optional that players can do if they want. And
No,
that's
child.
completely fine.
The Forsworn are not
just
what
add
I
in
once
something for
wanted.
people that like being
I
able
doubt
to
they ever
micromanage
were.
the different units
I
and
must
followers.
find
That's
peace
cool.
and isolation.
I have no problem with that.
I have
but
much to consider.
in fucking WoD, you had to do it
Some
for the
important
legendary.
reflection.
The lukewarm
I understand
expansions
well.
at best. Players
I
are
hope
ready
you
for a
find
return
what
to
you
their
seek.
roots.
Yep.
The good old days, some called it.
As do
Troubles
I.
arose right from launch, however.
Thank you.
What do we got here?
Just like the old days.
Oh, all the shit that I fucking play on offline again.
Not that this is really on Blizzard, but they came under a distributed denial of service
Yeah.
attack.
So I remember this happened to me, is that I was the first warrior, like one of the first warriors on the server, and like I was in like I think the top 10 people to like hit 100 on my server, and I log off and I log back on, and there was a fucking 20 like fucking hour queue. There's a 20-hour. Oh, it's a cat. You want to look at that? That was the worst I'd done in multiple expansions. The past 3 expansions, my group has been realm first. So I mean, you can just go literally watch the VODs or look it up. Like we've been realm first every fucking time. So being number 10 was actually a downgrade to me.
Commonly referred to as a DDoS. The act of flooding a service
Yeah,
with so much
it.
artificial traffic that the servers get overloaded with lag, and they crash, and lag, and crash.
Dude, like the loading screen, or
There
sorry,
we
the
go.
login screen was awesome
Oh,
for WoD.
shit.
I liked it a lot.
Really?
Purpose
Really?
leaves our way.
Launch was the worst in the game's 10-year history at that point, and it took several days until things finally stabilized. Once players got in, however, what awaited them was a lackluster expansion at best.
Yeah.
The garrison system just
No
isolated the
end
player
game
base
at
from
all.
each other. You had a few reasons to leave it. and
Yeah.
The world was just empty.
There's nothing
A
to
problem
do.
that arose from the garrisons themselves, and also the massive hemorrhage of subscribers due to the sparse and sluggish release of new content. The
Don't
entire
forget the
expansion
selfie
had
patch.
only 3 raid tiers throughout its 2-year run. Many features ended up being scrapped due to time constraints.
I heard that Heimal was supposed to be its own raid. I talked to somebody who told me that. And the thing is with WoD, like why I really think WoD deserves to be number 1 here, is because of everything that it could have been. Because it's not World of Warcraft's biggest fuck-ups, it's World of Warcraft's biggest disappointments. And the fact is that WoD, Heimal was a raid. Oh, sorry, what I meant by own raid is that it would be its own raid tier. And not like basically Heimal and Blackrock Foundry shared a raid tier, even though almost all of the gear from Blackrock Foundry replaced the Heimal gear. I didn't say that correctly. But the issue with WoD is that it could have been the return to form that we were all looking forward to. And it's a huge disappointment that it didn't happen, because Blizzard had an opportunity to rewrite a lot of the history and make the game amazing.
I won't go over all of it, as it's a bit much. And this video is already like 30 minutes long. Ah, screw it. Major cities were replaced by small footholds outside
I
of
forgot
Ashland
about
Island.
that, yep.
Cut scenarios, a new arena system was scrapped, pet breeding, which I can't talk about on YouTube, multiple garrison locations throughout Draenor, so you could play with yourself wherever you wanted, abandoned storylines, including an appearance from Medivh, class accessories, transportation system with the Draenor Depot, since they originally were planning on flying. That changed once the 5 people still playing threatened to quit. A Zangarmarsh zone, which they cleverly just turned into a sea. In fact,
The
multiple
Zangar
entire zones
water.
were scrapped, along with the whole raid tier.
Oh,
You know that
great.
giant bubble in Talador? That was supposed to open up at some point, but something suddenly came up.
Yeah?
You can find an Easter egg in your garrison graveyard. Here you'll find the burial site of Ray D. Tier. Player housing has always been a huge request, and the common excuse to not bring it to the game is that it would require so much work that they would have to skip an entire raid tier. A funny little reference, but maybe closer to the truth than we think. And consider that all of this was after a 14-month wait. The joyful cheers of glee quickly soured once players saw the expansion for what it was. And as of the game's 15-year run so far, it remains to be the biggest disappointment. They broke records on release, selling 3.3 million copies, but within a few months, subscriptions dropped back down to 7.1. In the second quarter, they were 5.6, which was the lowest since its initial rise in 2005.
Remember, like, whenever I made the video, I want to show you guys a video after this.
They had stopped releasing how many subscriptions they had in chain, stating that there are, quote, better ways to gauge success.
Yeah, like by microtransactions.
Yeah, you know, the Detroit Lions aren't actually a bad team, you guys.
Just don't judge success based off of wins.
I think we're just so archaic in determining what makes a good team.
Yeah.
There are better ways of measuring success. I mean, come on.
0 and 16.
From now on, the best team in the NFL is the one who sells the most jerseys. And as for the content that was patched in, well, it sucked. Guys, everybody hates garrisons. They say it feels like a single-player game, and they can't stand it.
By the
what do we do?
Grace.
Ooh, I know. How about another garrison system? Brilliant.
The honor
oh my
is
god, I
yours.
forgot all about the
That
shipyard.
Financially, it was hugely
oh
successful.
My god.
The level boost was introduced in late Pandaria.
Wow.
So Draenor was
I forgot all about the shipyard.
Where it was really rolling for the full duration. I'll bet you BFA was also a huge financial success due to the same thing. And also that wombo combo of allied races and paid race changes they have going on.
How convenient.
It's a shame. People used to go to these conventions with huge expectations.
Yeah.
Blizzard as a company was one of the few bastions left in gaming. They seem to put their fans first.
You guys take care
Why
of
have you called us?
You guys really take care of us.
You have my
They ran on
attention.
credit. They could seriously make a game about a walking turd, and people would have bought it. What was once a company held in the highest regards by some of the most passionate and loyal fans in existence is now met with pessimism and low standards by the very same people.
Alright, Mad Season, like, let's be real.
If we are to assault loyalty, we must
people
strike
thought
now.
The game sucked
Her
in
power
2005 too. I mean, everybody always thought
Bring
the game sucked. Like, you
everything
can
to
find
bear,
people
my
that
paragons.
say the same thing nowadays about what do you call it? About the current game.
This false movement
Like,
ends.
WoW has always been dying since before it even came out. WoW was dead before it even released. Okay.
Rally
but
our forces
the difference
from our
is that
reclaimed temples. We will clear
they
staging
weren't wrong.
ground.
Like, or sorry, they were wrong then. The game was good. That's why people continue to keep playing it.
Grounds,
but now,
the Ascended have resumed
they're not
training.
wrong.
They will
it's like
be
if you
eager
go
to see the last
and you tell somebody else their
us.
game sucks, like go tell a Final Fantasy 14 player their game sucks, and they're gonna try to like eat your ears or like bite your ears off or something like that. You go tell somebody about Overwatch being shitty or something like that, and they'll accuse you of being racist. If you tell somebody that whatever your fucking game is, you know, Counter-Strike sucks, they'll just say it's just because you have bad aim. But if you tell somebody that plays WoW that their game sucks, they'll agree with you. That's the difference.
It's almost too much to keep up with.
Yep.
In the making of this video, the whole Warcraft 3 Reforged fiasco started up, and people are pissed they paid $30 for what's basically a texture mod with updated DRM. Hey, at least all of the bugs are new.
The big mischance on these Dragonhawks and a disconnect.
A disconnect.
I'm gonna assume those ain't dropped, but I feel like Moon was away from holding this attack.
Uh-oh.
Wow. You're benched. What's this? It looks like another drop just happens. Oh, wow.
And that's with delays in development, by the way.
Oh, wow.
You know, they just wanted to put on that good old Blizzard polish. As time goes on, the benchmark for disappointment seems to be becoming lower and lower, as controversy after controversy transpire in one of the biggest rise and falls in gaming history. It's a sad tale, but maybe this is just a low in the company's history before a soaring high. Or maybe we're just setting ourselves up for disappointment.
We are losing her.
I don't know. I mean,
She
like,
was
here's the thing:
Lasonia's
is that it's
soulbind.
like every company nowadays
She cannot hope
is a
to aid
fucking
us against her
disappointment.
in this state.
Like Bethesda,
Restore the Vespers
you know, like
to
every
stabilize
company sucks somehow. The only companies that are good are companies that make one game. If you make one game, or actually, or maybe CD Projekt Red.
Mom.
Okay, that's a good counter. But besides that, I feel like if you make more than one game, you're gonna have some problems. Rockstar? Well, weren't people really mad about Rockstar working people to death in fucking Red Dead Redemption 2? I remember that being a big thing. And From Software, okay, you know what? Yeah, you guys are coming up with some other exceptions. I guess, yeah, you know, maybe I am wrong about that. But
I was nearly
I
lost.
feel like Blizzard can bring it back. Like, they can bring it back whenever they want. They can bring it back whenever they want. Just start making good games again.
My Watchers will keep our forces
It's easy.
fighting until the day is ours.
Just make good games and everybody
Glory
will be
to
happy.
Persephone.
Just make the games.
Glory to the Archon.
People like them.
Glory
respect
to
the players.
Bastion.
Boom. It's done. Problem solved. Game is happy. Players are happy. I want to show you guys. So I remember whenever this fucking drop for WoD happened. Where is it? Shit. Yeah, this one right here. I don't know if you guys watched me back then. Asmongold, WoW, sub numbers, WoD.
What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today we're going to talk about the fact that in the first quarter of 2015, World of Warcraft has lost 2.9 million subscribers. And so just to put that into perspective for everyone here, that means that in a 3-month period, they've lost over 1/4 of their entire subscriber population. And you know the only real question I have to ask here is anyone really surprised? Is anyone really surprised whenever people decide that they're not going to pay money to play Farmville anymore? Is anyone really surprised when people get tired of running the same treadmill on 4 different difficulties? Is anyone really surprised that people get burnt out of an MMO that you don't even need to interact with another player in order to kill the last boss of the game? It is a huge disappointment to me. It's a huge disappointment to a lot of other people. Like, if you go to Twitch TV, look guys, if you want a comparison here, RuneScape has more viewers than World of Warcraft, okay? I don't really think that I need to say anything more in this video, but it's going to be a little bit longer. That's just...
I was pissed. I was fucking pissed. And the fact is, whenever I wasn't streaming, that happened. Like, we would literally see times where, like random fucking games. Like, let me see.
bearer that falls,
We'll see if I can find it here. So, WoW has 97k viewers, and like, let's subtract, how many do I have? Like, let's say 50,000, right? And so 47k. Like, we'd be getting beat by Animal Crossing. Like, we'd be losing to Animal Crossing. We would lose to this teamfight tactics. We'd lose to fucking poker. It's embarrassing, guys. It really is.
True.
And there would be times where like these like Smite would be ahead of WoW randomly. Like, let's say Mizkif played Smite or something like that, and it's beating WoW, beating World of Warcraft, GeoGuessr, you know, something like that. FIFA, yeah, FIFA, and Castro is offline, and FIFA's still on. FIFA's still beating WoW. Like, I saw that, I had to take a nap.
Sponsored by that game everyone loves.
Raid Shadowlands.
Scientists are racing to unlock the secrets of the cosmos. Questions we once thought impossible to answer are within our grasp. Where does the sun go at night?
Is math related to science?
Where does the sun go?
If the universe is so big, then why won't it fight me?
As we look further into the universe, we see light from distant stars, eons old, perhaps hundreds, even thousands of miles away. Hold on, can I get a zoom in on that?
You bet I can. This is one of the world's most powerful telescopes. Initiating 6 times zoom.
Oh, can this baby do 7?
I can do you one better. Maneuvering to 8 times zoom.
He's got an 8x, dude.
Holding steady. I can see it. Unblur.
It won't hold.
Get me 8.5 times.
You're a madman.
Okay.
Upscale it to 4K.
The helium tank will go critical.
Opening the blinds. Hold her steady. Uncropping and increasing aspect ratio.
All right, where is it? Come on.
Now, punch it. There it is. Life on another world. And to think, we owe it all to one indie development studio.
Hey.
Hello Games.
That's some good content right there.
Let's start at the beginning.
Floppy dickheads. The hype.
Yeah, it's rewind time. Okay, the year is 2009. Guildford, England.
Wait, this
There's
is
a man named Sean
2009?
Murray, and he's just founded a company called Hello Games.
Okay.
Sean and the boys are working hard on a brand new IP called Joe Danger. 2010 AD. The game just came out. It's a success.
Damn, okay.
They're a small team, but they are ambitious. Let's do something bigger, said Sean. Let's reach for the stars.
Oh, no, man.
How about Joe Danger 2? Brilliant. It's 2012. Joe Danger 2 has just come out.
Oh, okay.
But,
Why make a new game if you just make the same game?
We need to do something even bigger than Joe Danger 2.
Okay.
Joe Danger 3? No. Even more out of this world. Something no man has done before.
Pelagos came seeking to gather the collective.
Joe Danger the mobile game?
But was consumed by
and that
doubt.
came out in 2013. Seriously, guys, biggest thing
You need his skills on the battlefield.
I'm just stalking him.
Strong
What
enough.
do you think of him? Sean pondered for a moment.
Good
Then turned
enough.
and whispered
This
into
is
the
your
wind.
fate.
Reflected
Embrace
back
it.
was the visage of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
If you're gonna make a space game first person, it's never been done before. How about that? I'm going up in orbit to repair the Hubble telescope.
No.
So that's not a knife. Who are you gonna have sex with?
Can
How
do
much
this.
microwaves are coursing
I am
through your
not
body now?
alone.
The
What
planet,
the fuck?
said Murray.
Together.
Space game.
Wait,
This
I'm
will
gonna
be
see what's on this
your
list. Give me a minute.
Planet.
FPS chess game. They have that in Overwatch, turn-based COD. They have that, it's called PUBG. Wow, driver simulator.
You are
They have that, it's called COD.
We are stronger together.
GTA, but it's the whole
three of
world. They have that, it's called the whole world. Cyberpunk 1977. That just probably sounds like it sucks. The Prince of Iran. You can't make a joke about that or I'll get banned.
the temple of
Reverse Battle Royale was
join the Forsworn. Not without a fight.
That's so fucking stupid. Harry's mod, no woman disguise. Hey, my man. Min Pain, the David King game, but multiplayer.
I have failed that
Maynard's
trial
Quake 2,
so many
domestic-
times.
Okay, alright.
But not
Dark
today.
Souls, but
Our
really
purpose
easy.
is clear.
They have that. It's called Dark Souls 1.
Space game. Procedural generation.
Okay, here
Planet.
we go.
Okay, that sounds good. Yes, we all agree. So they set to work, cobbled together a prototype, and by VGX 2013, they are ready to announce another new IP.
Alright.
No Man's Sky. Check it out.
Check it out. Every fish is procedural.
Oh, this is special. Oh my god!
Wow.
This is special.
Wow. This does look really fucking cool. Like, let's be real, this looks fucking cool. Calm down, guys.
It's 2014, and it's E3 hype time.
Okay.
No Man's Sky
Oh,
has
this is
promised to
when
be a
WoD
game
came
like
out.
no other.
Nice.
A practically boundless experience, vibrant with life and color and things to explore.
Yeah.
What's over there? You'll have to be the one to discover it. And then, wow, look at that big f***ing dinosaur, holy shit.
Yeah.
And a moment later, we're in space, having a battle amongst a giant fleet. Claim a planet as your
What the
own.
fuck?
Explore the galaxy with your friends. Okay, that's it. This is going to be
This
the best
does
game
look
ever,
really
you guys.
cool.
It even won awards for its hype. And it will release in June 2016. The hype train was officially loading up and ready to chug out of the station. At every stop of the journey, there would be press junkets talking about the amazing scale of the game. Spread across 18 quintillion planets. It's so vast that by the time you finish
Okay, I'm gonna pause this. People want me to look at the Ian tweet.
exploring it all,
Our
I would
time
have
has
2
come,
new
Ascended.
videos published.
Today, the
Sean himself was
forsworn
doing the
menace
interviews.
ends once
Because
and
who is
for
better
all.
to talk about the game than the lead guy himself?
Yeah.
He went from interview to interview,
Our
and with each
paragons will
question,
each lead
the
us to
answers he
flanks.
gave raised people's expectations of the game's
You will
scope.
push
Can you land
straight
on a
ahead
comet?
with our
Yeah,
largest
at the
force.
moment you can land on asteroids.
You could
We follow
encounter
your
other
lead.
players.
Can you grief other players?
That's what matters.
They're literally building your own like massively multiplayer world that's procedurally generated.
Sand planets like in June, rivers, walking sentinels, hacking.
That's cool.
So sophisticated that light diffracts through the atoms. They had to redevelop the whole periodic table to make it
Glory
work.
to the Archon!
Even Elon
Glory
Musk
to
was hyped for it.
Bastion!
Wait, what?
Charging right in, are we?
With my entire being!
My looks like I've known this guy. This freaking game reality is just still. Oh,
Elon Musk was hyped for it.
Okay.
Of the Force Wars.
2 years go by. It's early 2016, and that hype train is really good. You are perhaps one of the biggest in video game history. Reddit was shoveling most of it. Skeptics and naysayers are treated as ballast and thrown from the carriage doors.
Fuck him.
Pre-orders open, and they are doing very well. Conversations booked in. Jason Schreier of the soon-to-be is about to start. He announced from June 2016. And get the delay. Said Sean in his
And that's fine.
Sean received some death threats too, by the way.
Like, people get so fucking mad, dude. It's like, do you want them to bring out a game and play stuff wrong? No. Like, if it takes longer for the game to be good, that actually makes me confident. Because nowadays, they're like, okay, well, it's not ready yet, but here you go, it's early access, and it's $20. Give me a fucking break, man.
Resistance is ill-advised.
Yeah, I mean, like, they can't all be.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works out in the
Proudly relaxed. Speaking of waiting,
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
serious for
I knew it, dude. I said right at the beginning. I was like, this is gonna be fucking Raid Shadowlands.
Play. Achieve your dreams. Raid! The good! Congratulations! Every glob of the unknown. My right! You've collected one of over 400.
Wow.
Why, hello there. Have you heard about the online RPG? It's extremely strong to read on the Play Store. It's a warm bowl of soup on a cold night. It's one last dance at your wife's funeral. If you haven't played in the arena yet, I'm gonna break into your house. You're all
Okay.
getting raised Christmas kids.
Okay. They've already given a lot of fucking money.
You can get an extra 50k silver and an epic champion.
Wow! What the fuck? Oh my god!
So this was not too chargeable. It's small. In fact, I haven't been able to find a team behind it. All of these extra posts are on the shoulders of just 6, expanding to a team of 15 by the end of production. July. It's just a couple of weeks until the release. Whatever the state of the game by now, however much it's finished, that's what's going on. The Hello Games team celebrates with this iconic image. They're exhausted.
Wait, oh my god, that is him!
Production does to a man.
Wow!
What's wrong with your face?
Nonetheless, they continue, working on the day one patch. And sure, if your game isn't coming out for another 2 weeks, then why is there a box copy on eBay? That's and selling every access behind it. And the bits start rolling in.
Nothing more. Others shall take
It reaches $1,300 US.
Why?
Some guy with the red handle Damien, with his hands on it, started uploading footage to YouTube and Daily Motion.
Wait, what? What?
Damien finished it a lot quicker than expected, but he gave it a decent review.
There are things I don't like, there are things I like. It is not too late to give up this madness. This is what I'm looking at right here. This is what the game is supposed to be.
He noted a few problems, but said he was optimistic that they would be ironed out with the day one. It's another thing. Some retailers broke the official release date, journalists too, and they started streaming playthroughs of the game.
So just nobody gives a fuck.
So he tried to these videos, but their aim was terrible.
It is not round of applause, everyone. We've officially become No Man's censored by.
They are still standing.
Our news story from earlier this week about No Man's Sky
Colossus
has been hit with a
Animal
copyright strike on YouTube.
They went bumbling around from platform to platform, just taking down any video that even talked about the leak or showed the trailer footage. But it was too late.
The way is clear
The footage
to the
had
south.
people
We
talking more
must hurry.
skeptically about the game. Especially because there were no early review copies.
That's bad.
And it was looking like the weight of all these expectations
keep their
had become
reinforcements
too
at
much.
Push
And the whole
onward.
thing was about to
If
be.
you march your end quickly, I will allow
Oh no.
Space, no one can hear you
It's
live.
good. Everyone's here.
Alright.
Here we go.
Let's play. Oh, yes, you can't play.
Yeah, Lord. Hello, Sean. It's me, the auditor of games.
Yeah.
I used to work in an astronomy lab. It seems like you've made a lot of promises. Promises that you have not kept. Let's go through the checklist.
Would have never expected that.
Any large-scale joinable space battle.
Nobody would want that.
The
Ringed
truth bringer
planet.
is nearly recharged.
Combat. At least let me play as a trailer. Those sand planets from June look nice. I think I might. There must be. Animals interact with each other in the environment. Packs of walking sentinels, Sean.
No.
I'm literally
My hand.
Should I even ask
Warlords
whether I
of
can play as a
Draenor.
space pirate?
We already had this happen. I'm used to it.
Too much down.
Factions with different attributes. If I can maneuver like in the trailer, I'll still be happy.
Yeah, that is actually.
Day-night cycles
never mind.
determined by the orbit of the sun.
Unacceptable. Removing lethality restrictions.
Random asteroid, radio cat, name your ship, hacking,
so
portal,
many.
all that stuff about the
remember
elements, sure.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Very not good.
And ironically, the only bugs this game doesn't have are the butterflies in the demo. Aggressive emojis, tractor beam malfunction, animal husbandry, oil slick world, retarded animals doing retarded things. Ships and tears disappear. First person mode as a gun. That's not how flying works. That's my only means of transportation, leaving the planet.
And it's
take
gone.
off. Really take off.
Oh my
Holes
god.
in the map. Holes in my graphics card. Whole lot of nothing from down here. Textures bugging out, animals bugging out. Animals break dance. Look at these busy hands. Hello there. And a couple of unrequested
What the fuck is wrong with the
ejector seats.
animals, man?
Okay, that's a lot of stuff. I get the picture. No wait, poor graphics rendering. Sometimes it start the game. Frame rate crashes. Major publications are having trouble playing the game on their machines. Even the best 1080 Ti's are stuttering.
gateway to the
Alt
temple
tab it,
is
that's a
just
guaranteed
north of here.
crash. Desktop notifications.
I cannot hold them for much longer.
Playing the game.
Get to the
That's
gateway.
a crash. Changing options in the game without restarting. You get this.
may have lost
Pre-order
sight.
version of spaceship.
That's
You might
interesting.
have a problem. This special ship already comes with a hyperdrive inside it. Great, right?
I will finish
No,
what Devil
because you have to
started.
craft it in order to
We will
finish the
no
tutorial
longer
missions.
be thralls
And if you haven't
to
finished the
Archon,
tutorial missions, you
blinded
can't
by
leave the
the
star
past.
system. So
then
until
you have
that
to
happens,
pre-order?
You're
Right.
stranded.
The Shadowlands are broken. But to fix them requires strength of
No
will.
Man's Sky.
Strength, sheep, black.
Oh my god.
Step forward, so you may
I guess she
disappoint
pre-ordered.
me.
Ah,
as
my
Uther
ship's in
did.
Bits! Okay, thank you.
Just a quick note about how high expectations were for this game, and just how many people bought it on release.
A lot of people
myself
are into
included.
this.
Over 750,000
I never bought
purchases on Steam at launch.
Wow.
It's the single best-selling game on the PlayStation Store that month.
This
and a
is
large
your
proportion
last
of people
chance.
who are
Forces
playing
lie
with their
defeated
friends.
all around you. You have
Well,
already
you're in for a
lost.
surprise. This one is a literal game changer.
Is it even possible for me
Left to face. Is that all you have?
Answer is
Show
absolutely
me the strength of the Archon.
On multiple occasions,
The victory you
it was
so desperately
definitely
crave.
in the game.
Will you be able to play with your friends?
Can you run into other people, other players? Yes.
Wait, it was on Stephen Colbert's show?
I can show you.
Wow.
Sean posted this cryptic tweet. To be super clear, No Man's Sky
Abandon the
is
Archon's
not
lies
a
and
multiplayer.
join me.
Please don't
I
be
will
looking
never
for that
abandon my
experience.
kin as you have.
So there's no multiplayer. But then the next line contradicts that.
Because the chance of the two players ever crossing paths in a universe this big is pretty
Oh, so it is multiplayer. You just have to overcome this.
Oh my god.
The day's already mine. Thanks to your little assault.
Yeah! Right?
The Archon
No,
is
it's more confusing than
undefended
that.
for the
Because the
first
box doesn't
time.
mention online play,
Once
just
the
network
Archon
features. And the
falls,
collector's edition had its
even your
online play
precious
icon stickered
paradigms
over.
will see
So
the
customers are going, which one is it?
Surprise.
Just tell us if it has multiplayer or it doesn't have multiplayer. Sean wouldn't give any answers.
Smart.
But after hundreds of thousands of purchases, people soon took it upon themselves to find out.
To try to find
Despite
yeah.
the claims that it would be so
retreating to the hold
improbable.
as well. I only hope
On
we're
the
not too
very
late.
first day,
If the
two
Archon
people
falls,
noticed they were only 4 star systems from one another,
Okay.
and they met up
Bastion
on
will
the
be
same
hers.
planet in a live stream. Oh dear.
A black pillow. Yeah, our streams are exactly lined up. If you
Where
look
is
at my
he?
stream, we're looking at the exact same area right now. You know.
Are they phased?
We
That's
will
the same
prevent
spot.
any more of her
And
army
they
from
can't see
advancing
each
on
other.
the
They're
Archon.
phased.
I swear it.
Oh my god.
That settles it. It's not multiplayer because it's so big. It's not multiplayer
Because it's not
just not
multiplayer.
fucking multiplayer.
Yeah.
And this led to
You
my
must
revolt.
defeat Lasonia.
What the fuck?
The
No
dream
Man's
upset out
Sky.
of
So amazing, 2 people found each other on the first day.
That has blown my mind.
Oh my god.
So why can't we see other players in game?
Wow.
So many of you playing.
Yeah, Sean. But what?
Truly amazing.
Terestia! Your reign ends on this day!
The game.
So what's the game actually like?
Is it any good?
That is a difficult thing to
Empty
say.
threats.
It certainly is
ascended.
stylish and pretty.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of places to explore.
Your
But
master
that doesn't mean
serves
there's
you
much to
only
find.
lies.
In fact, the game boils down to a very
Such
simple
power,
rule. Hold
yet
down the
so
trigger to pick up
blind.
resources. Deal with
Allow
a full
me
inventory.
to lift the
Get an
veil
upgrade.
from your
Leave the
eyes,
planet.
my
Go to another
Archon.
planet. Hold down the trigger. Deal with a full
Now!
inventory. Get an upgrade. Leave the planet. Go to another planet. Hold down the trigger. Deal with a full inventory. Leave the planet. Go to another planet. Deal with a full inventory.
That sucks. $60.
Refuel your multi-tool, refuel your life support, refuel a separate part of your multi-tool that shoots bullets instead of the mining beam. Refuel your
Damn, dude, this game's good.
It's busy work that makes it look
We
like
have
you have
become
something
more
to
than
do.
our
It's not
past.
real.
Can't you see that?
What followed was one of the most dramatic crashes in player numbers in gaming history. Sales in the UK fell by 81% in 6 weeks. Concurrent players on Steam dropped from 212,000 in August to just over 2,000 and fewer than 1,000 by October.
Oh, God.
So what followed that
As long as we
was
follow
perhaps the
the
biggest
path, we
pile-on
can work
in
through
history.
Oh,
together.
Reviewers on YouTube and the game.
I had that one.
You done fucked it up! I had no idea. And I can tell you that even without that disappointment, this game is hot garbage.
Now
Has
I will
anyone
show it
told
to you.
Sean God, I love him.
Numerous times within the first 2 hours of the game, I kept saying, this is it.
Become one.
Devastating
Yeah, probably.
most of the crafting, combat, and other activities between those planets and outright
The criticism was deafening.
I would rather forget my past.
And a lot of it really fun and creative. Robicat made a video that captured the sentiment of that day, and you haven't seen it yet.
That's why they made it so you couldn't
Some people are furious. The game is boring.
They
and
knew
soon
it.
people discover that complaining about the game is actually more fun than playing it.
Wait, I'm now.
I learned that about WoW a few years ago, actually.
So they started complaining about it like they were grinding for an achievement.
Well, hey, if you get bored about complaining about it, you can always jack off after
Many
the
people
stream.
made compilations of all the unfulfilled promises. One guy on the subreddit
Must be a long
compiled a
video.
big list of all the missing features. Front page.
As
So
for
defense for No
you,
Man's Sky?
Luther.
Enjoy your downvote. In
Boom.
fact, the entire No Man's Sky subreddit was in
Archon,
such disarray it had to be locked.
for your mercy.
What?
So by the end of the
Holy
month, I scrolled
shit.
through a bowl of Cheerios.
Oh
It
my
is
October, it was
God.
one of the worst
For
rated
now.
games on Steam, with an aggregate of mostly
Overwhelmingly
negative,
negative.
from
Your
more than
actions this
70,000
day have
reviews.
shown me much.
The outrage of the game was headline news for weeks on dozens
shall
of games
discuss
news
your
publications.
fate
And the
in
price on
time.
eBay and Amazon and
Until
secondhand
then,
GameStop
you may stay
was
here
crashing
under
through the
guard.
floor.
$1 for the game.
Please, no more.
Oh, one
But the
you
beatings had only just begun. The demo planet was data mined and found to be, of course, totally scripted and not randomly generated at all.
I just got to pick one of these at random. If anything horrible goes
my
wrong,
God,
just keep in
a
mind that
random one,
I've not been
dude.
there before.
It wasn't some level that
A
we built or
magician's
something like
trick.
that, even though I think it looks quite nice in places.
Random member
People
from
watching
the
this
audience.
would wonder why you're showing this area again. Like, what's so special about demoing
Take
the
him
game
to
on
the
this
eternal
planet?
watch
Oh no,
until
no,
our
it's just
Archon has
a
considered his
place
fate
that looks
further.
nice.
No. Bad.
I implore you to place Luther under my care.
Yo, it just looks
we
nice,
must
man.
understand what ails him so.
Yeah.
I suspect there is much we do not yet know.
And then a monster emerges from behind the mountains, you know?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
To understand. Please.
It's a good thing you didn't do that.
People see what's going on with the game and feel lied to.
Yes.
This is false advertising, they say.
Yes.
And angry
My
customers
training
start
as an
searching out for a
aspirant
lawsuit.
Oh,
was
God.
difficult.
On September 28th, the
I
ASA
remember
busts through the door and
nothing
goes,
of my life.
"Yep, too many complaints. We're going to investigate."
Really? Holy
But then
shit.
soon after, the ASA cleared
Every
the floor of
time I
illegal
close
wrongdoing.
my eyes,
Technically, the only
see
thing
my
they're
death.
interested in is what's on the back of the
I
box,
see
what's on the store page, and what's on the
standing
Steam
before
page.
me.
So it's
That
technically
cursed
not false
blade in
advertising.
hand.
Loopholes,
But of course,
boys.
technically not
Hey.
illegal doesn't mean much to an angry audience.
No.
October
Devils
28th,
convinced
Hello Games
me that
Twitter
my
is
death
hacked.
was yours.
The hacker posts,
She
"No
promised
Man's
me
Sky was a
justice.
mistake," and is shitting on the game in the replies.
Oh
Turns
my
out Sean
God.
didn't use two-factor authentication on his LinkedIn,
What we
and
did
that's how
to
he got
him
in.
was not
They also sent
justice.
discrediting emails to journalists,
It was
which they knew would
vengeance.
rile people up if
Oh my
published.
God.
Some people even show up to their offices to take photos and knock on the door,
Listonia
even at
was
night
no
and
different.
on the weekend. They posted empty pictures of the
that
office,
they
so
the unopened
naturally out of
champagne
context,
bottle, dude.
this started rumors that Hello Games simply took the money and ran.
Dude, like, there's something about the fucking unopened champagne bottle that's just so poetic. I fucking love it, man.
This in addition to numerous bomb and death threats during that period. Those ones Sean did have to take seriously.
Plan on celebrating.
Regular intervention from police and Scotland Yard and things like that.
And while Sony didn't quite throw them under the bus, it was more like a gentle push under a minivan. When Sony President Shohei Yoshida admitted that Hello Games did not have a great PR strategy for No Man's Sky. The press took the ball with that one.
What do you mean, lying?
But despite all of this,
I mean, they didn't.
For showing me mercy.
So if the PR strategy that you have is you just go on there and make up a bunch of fucking bullshit, hopefully people buy the game, and enough of them don't refund it to where you can still retire and it doesn't matter if it's a disaster. Like, that seems good to me.
Negative press. They were actually nominated for a couple of awards, but by this point, Murray and the other members of Hello Games were so downtrodden and so sure they weren't going to win that they opted to go elsewhere for dinner.
Wow.
And the Innovation Award goes to No Man's Sky.
Wait, were they not there?
I welcome you.
This lovely trophy
Archon's
going
light
once.
shine upon you.
Whoops.
It
I'm going to
wasn't
step
even
this on
there.
behalf of Hello Games, and congratulations to them. And I'm going to walk off stage like I planned that whole thing.
By this point,
He
you've
did
got
his
to
best.
feel just a little bit sorry for them. And then what followed that was the final straw for many. No particular
Follow
the path, but a lack of incidents. Silence. Over 3 months of not a damn word from No Man's Sky.
You seek me.
You're totally
Where are
focused on
they?
customer support.
Where is my refund?
Discipline
Where is
in
Murray?
all things.
Shouted into the void. The game was over. Step.
You wish
It's
to be
another
of service.
procedurally generated video.
The year is 2000 AD.
Ooh!
Sean has just graduated from university and is headed into the big wide world.
Wow.
He rises up the ranks at a number of studios.
Amazing.
Eventually working as a technical lead for Black and technical director for Burnout 3.
Never played that shit.
When Burnout's developer is bought by EA, he is in his late 20s. And he and 3 of his buddies decide to leave and start their own studio.
Incredible.
Hello Games. This was a risky venture.
So we've
Speak
done this
without
incredibly foolish thing of like quitting our jobs, and then we had to sit down and try and decide what the game was going to be.
Yeah,
Together
probably
they
was.
create their first title, Joe Danger.
They work on this game day and night.
In fact, even once they were arrested in their own office because the police thought they were there to rob the place. Because who would be working at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night? But they had to work that hard.
Marvelous
Like
adventure
any
and
startup,
had
it
together
was a
in
huge
many
financial and professional risk.
Though
It's
my
because they're over
kind
in
do
the
not
UK.
normally
They
have
don't
the
understand
honor of
work
soul
over there, and
binding.
so like they saw
I
somebody working.
am no normal steward.
A concerned
Shall
citizen
we?
called the police.
They had no income.
Yeah.
They were working in a tiny room above an old tile shop, living off savings. And to keep the project running, Sean even sold his house.
So we made a really tough and probably at the time seemed really foolish decision.
That's respectable.
It's kind of almost embarrassing for me to talk about.
Yeah, it's respectable
I sold
to do
my
that.
house and just basically went all in and funded what we were doing,
That's
which is not
badass.
something I would recommend anyone else do.
But by June 8th, 2010, they had done it. The game was good. And they could breathe a sigh of relief because on the very first day it hit the PlayStation Store, they made their money back.
Boom.
2 years later, Joe
Yeah,
Danger
that's
2
awesome.
was released. It was not the commercial success they had hoped for. and they didn't want to just keep pumping out sequels. That was a trap big players in the industry had fallen
Yeah,
into.
who would just keep making the same
In his
game
spare
over and
time,
over?
Sean started working on a prototype for a procedurally generated game.
I'm nearly finished.
They took another
with a
gamble and
marvelous
scrambled
new
to get a
upgrade
trailer
on
out in
Ron.
time to present at
I wonder what it's
VGX
gonna be.
2013.
Okay. That's good.
So the project is official now, and the pressure is on. Around this time, Sean is also looking to start a family. Concurrent to all this development, he would go on to have 3 kids, so the weight of responsibility is really piling on. But their hard work will pay off, as they're finally going to have a chance for some R&R around Christmas.
That's nice. It's nice to get some relaxation. Oh, never mind.
They woke up to find their homes flooded, their cars submerged, and their plans for Christmas Day very much ruined.
Should have sold that
Bad
house
news.
too.
Rain and flooding in the south of England, around the Hellgate's office.
Charge.
They are completely
Ongoing
inundated and they
service.
return from their holidays to find laptops floating
Holy
around
shit.
at waist height. But some good news, they hadn't lost any data. So they pull together. Soldier on. Development
That sucks.
continues. So there they are, working in a damp office, and then ding dong. Ooh, who's at the door? It's Danish mathematician Dr. Johan Gerlis. He's seen the game.
It's a wizard.
And he says, they are using my super formula in perfect English, and there is a potential for a lawsuit. Sean
What?
says they didn't, and he can prove it. So they have a meeting, and the claim is eventually dropped. Lawsuit evaded.
Okay.
So back to work, guys. Ding dong.
Alright. It's good.
It's Sky Television.
Who is it now?
They've seen the game.
You are
Okay.
infringing on our Sky trademark.
They said in perfect text-to-speech.
Oh, because they use
They
Sky.
succeeded in getting Microsoft to change SkyDrive to OneDrive, and they were about to give gamers No Man's
How can you
One
copyright the
under
Sky?
threat of lawsuit. But this lawsuit didn't just go away.
Give me a fucking break.
The threat loomed over them for the next 3 years, right up until
They-
the month before release.
They own the word Sky. Oh boy.
Do you need a task?
Oh my god.
Proceed with courage.
We have to like, are we?
Wisdom
I wonder if
guide
in like
your
20
path.
years, every time you look at the sun or you go outside, you have to pay like I don't know, like that. Yeah, we have to pay the UN a royalty fee.
So they get
is
back
great.
to work, and ding dong.
Who is it now?
It's Sony, with some good news for once.
Oh.
We like your game, kid. We want to feature it front and center.
All
and
right.
make you a big star. This could mean millions of dollars in additional revenue.
That's good.
They said, yeah. But along with it, a lot of press for this game would need to be done.
That's good.
Being a small team, they didn't have anyone for PR. They had their designers,
Yes,
they had their
mortal.
developers, and that was about it. So it's up
Our
to Mo.
charge is sacred.
Sean's in his early 30s now. Not super young, but
Ooh.
relatively young.
What do you mean not
and
super young?
inexperienced for this type of media circuit.
What do you mean, dude?
This deal with Sony put extra pressure on them. It's set deadlines.
Come on.
It's not that it's Sony's fault,
Yeah.
but they're locked in now with much less
Together we
flexibility.
rise.
So when May rolls around,
Yeah.
and they have no option but to delay, even if they wanted to ask for an extra 6 to 12 months of development, which they really need, it's probably too much to ask for. So they extend from late June to August. Only 6 weeks. From here,
They can fix it
you
by
can
then.
predict what's going to happen to
Yeah.
multiplayer and a bunch of other promised features.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
So here's how the hype happened. Scope of game. Time. And here's the line which shows the reality of development. Progress is steady and ends in August 2016. Now here is the line of player expectations. It should start out here and
Need to
follow
target
along,
something
but
first.
the overhyping trailer comes out and puts us way up here. In this trailer, it features a bunch of
There it is.
things that Hello Games thinks they're capable of having in the game by
Yeah.
2016. That's the first big mistake.
That was
Then
a
it's
mistake.
announced for PlayStation, and it costs $60, and there's a collector's edition.
How much is
Second, even bigger mistake. That puts us all the way
We're
up
going
here.
to the moon.
And I think this is the main problem.
For
Because
all the
price
moons.
tags set expectations.
Yeah, they do.
For a $60 game, this was seriously barren and disappointing.
Yeah.
Now, if they had put it out for $20 as an indie game or an alpha, no
Nobody
problem.
give a fuck.
But when they gave it the AAA treatment, people rightfully aligned their expectations with other games in that category. That is the main reason customers' expectations were so skewed.
Yeah,
Then Murray went to interviews, exacerbating the problem.
Boom.
Every time he mentioned a feature in the game, even in passing, fans set their expectations to AAA heights for that feature.
But it was an indie
Now,
game.
some people think the interviews are the main problem. In my humble opinion, not so much. Most people never saw these interviews. It's not
Nobody
that
watches
rickety
TV.
12-foot ladder Sean's standing on that's the main problem. It's the 900-foot building he's perched it on in the first place. So the obvious solution here would be an official statement. Hey guys, look, don't expect a 10 out of 10. Expect more of a 5
The
out of
game's
10.
gonna kind of suck, but it'll be okay.
No, the publisher just
Right?
sank an enormous investment of money and opportunity into the game. And that would be a huge middle finger for them. The publisher isn't going to make you hype the shit out of the game, but you can't talk it down either. So, it's kind of stuck up there. In some ways, during the interview, he tries to temper expectations, but it's limited.
Can you build a space station? No.
But let's not gloss over the interviews. Sean is a technical guy. He's a developer. He's also the introverted type. And the big lights and the stuff on camera does not come naturally to him.
Is it super nerve-wracking to talk on stage at E3? Yes. Yes.
I think it would be for anybody, realistically.
I personally find going on stage at E3 like the hardest thing I've ever done. That's something that I would have had in a nightmare before. You know what I mean? It's
Literally
like,
the hardest thing you've ever done?
Yeah.
Still, he stepped up and took interviews for his game from 2013 to 2016.
He's doing what he's got to do.
And the main thing people wanted to hear about were the features.
Can you have more than...
So every planet, will there be wormholes?
Right.
At what point do you get points or anything?
From these interviews,
Your
people
patronage
took
is
Sean
always
to a lie.
appreciated.
A Peter Molyneux or a chess club member out to sell his game at whatever reputational cost.
Yep.
But I think the truth is more complicated than that. Sean and the team are indie developers working on a new idea. Their project and plans are constantly in flux. They have no idea how large chunks of the game are going to look, especially not a couple of years out from release. And crucially, Sean doesn't understand that something mentioned in 2013, even said in passing, is going to be seen as a promise in the year 2016, even if by then you've decided to cut it from the game.
That's what's happened with WoW, right? 100 times. Like, if you say something is gonna happen, it's like, if I say I might play this game today, and then I end the stream and I don't play the game, I get like fucking a lot of tweets. Man, you son of a fucking bitch! Why didn't you play the game? You said you might play the game. I was expecting you to play the game. Why didn't you do it? Piece of shit! Fuck you. And yeah, it happened all the time. You promised me, and I'm like, I didn't. I said I don't promise. So like, no, you promised because you used the word promise. It doesn't matter if you put don't before it because you said promise. You shouldn't have said promise because that made me think it was a promise. You know, that's what happened.
For example, orbiting around the sun.
Days turned it out because the planet is actually rotated on its axis.
This originally was in the game, but it caused the player too much confusion. It kept being reported as a bug in the beta as people left the planet and then returned to find everything different. But nonetheless, into the line compilation it goes.
Yep.
So while they're still essentially formulating the game, the media all want a piece of Sean and to report on features first. Conversely, Sean thinks the reporters might help him to temper down things by emphasizing that Hello Games is an indie studio. But that is not how journalism is done. This is how journalism is done.
Can you ask a very, very, inflammatory question or something like that that has a very complicated answer, and then as soon as you get the answer that you want out of the person's 5-minute answer, you cut that down to 4 seconds, and then that's what they actually said in the interview. That's how you do it.
The ultimate transaction. You deserve only the best.
Sort of.
Full customization confirmed in No Man's Sky.
Boom, there it is. Sort of. Hey!
Hello and welcome. My name is Dylan.
May I tempt you with my wares? You struck a hard bargain. Good show. All goods and services for sale. Until our next transaction.